Welcome out to Ken Dugan Field on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We are celebrating Mother's Day here at the ballpark as you watch the moms of the Lipscomb Bisons baseball team, the ones that are in attendance today. We want to celebrate all of you who are watching from home, but the 16 or so moms who are here just threw out the ceremonial first pitch to their sons as they get underway to start Game 3 against Bellarmine here this afternoon. I'm Erica Plunkett, and I will be joined shortly by Doc Allen as we bring you coverage of the Lipscomb-Bellarmine series finale. Lipscomb leads the series 2-0 after winning 17-4 on Friday and 8-1 last night. Lipscomb's been getting it done by the long ball against the Knights all season in both this home series as well as the away series hosted up in Louisville. Lipscomb is currently tied for second in the ASUN West as we get closer to ASUN tournament play. We'll give you the starting lineups first for Bellarmine. Leading off will be number 6, the left fielder Matt Higgins. Batting second, number 42, the catcher Ashton Smith. Batting third, number 18, the right fielder Jacob Mulcahy. Batting fourth, number 50, the first baseman Davis Crane. Batting seventh, the shortstop Clayton Melbauer. Batting sixth, number 20, the third baseman Peyton Back. Batting seventh, number 1, center fielder Jack Ackerman. Batting eighth, number 32, the designated hitter Ethan English. And batting ninth, number 16, the second baseman Casey Sorg. On the mound for the Knights today is number 34, Gavin Brownecker, the sophomore. For the Bisons, leading off will be number 8, the shortstop Caleb Ketchup. Batting second in center field, number 19, Maddox Houghton. Batting third, number 35, the designated hitter Mason Lundgren. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 44, Malik Williams. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 13, Rudy Maxwell. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 30, Trace Wilhoit. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 4, Cam McMillan. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 23, Ethan Stamps. And batting ninth, number 1, the catcher, Chaz Bertolani. On the mound for the Bisons in his usual spot will be number 40, Ike Buxton. Ike Buxton will be getting his 12th start on the season on a beautiful May afternoon. Several of these players, including Ike Buxton, Chaz Bertolani, Malik Williams, and Maddox Houghton, graduated yesterday. They had a special graduation ceremony yesterday morning and are continuing the celebrations of graduation weekend here with the series finale, and we are now joined by Doc Allen.
And one other graduate we need to congratulate is Erica Plunkett, our outstanding do-it-all here on our broadcast crew. She's producer, director, camera crew, mixer, audio, play-by-play, color, you name it. So Erica, an honors graduate in the College of Engineering, and want to say congratulations to that. Also, congratulations that she's been selected to continue her career working at ESPN. She's going to join the four-letter network working at their home studios in Bristol, Connecticut. And Erica, we couldn't be happier for you. That's a great honor to be selected for that. That's not just something that everyone gets to do. So congratulations to you, and we're excited to see what you do there and beyond there. And also congratulations on your engineering degree with honors yesterday at Lipscomb University. You've had a big weekend.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to work with the Bisons these last 4 years, and I'm excited for today's game, and we've got another home series before this season is over.
3 more games after today, home for the Bisons, as you mentioned. Third game of this 3-game series, and it's been all Lipscomb so far. They jumped out to a quick lead in Friday night's game, banged out 18 hits, and wound up winning that game 17-4. Yesterday's game, a little bit of a tighter affair, but the Bisons led wire to wire, put a little distance in with 3 runs in the 8th inning, and won that game 8-1. So Bison's looking to sweep the series, keep pace with Eastern Kentucky, who's first place in the West Division of the ASUN, and Lipscomb in a 3-way tie for second place that we'll talk about as we get through our game today. But right now we're going to step aside on this beautiful Sunday afternoon at Dugan Field and enjoy our nation's national anthem. Our national anthem is in the books, and we get set for baseball action here. And prior to starting to today's game, Eric and I had a chance to visit with Bison's head coach Jeff Forehand to get his thoughts on the weekend so far.
You won. Coach Forehand, one of the important performances in last night's game was Tyler Legier. Came in 2 lockdown innings. He's been terrific out of the bullpen in the middle relief role. What makes him so effective in that role?
You know, we talked about that after the game. That was, at that point in the game, that was somewhere we needed a lift for the starter. And, Tyler came in with a runner at second and no outs and went 1, 2, 3, 2 innings in a row. I think his deception, from the side, and he's throwing a lot of strikes right now, throwing strikes with the fastball and throwing strikes with the breaking ball, and has a little swing and miss in there. So he's got some confidence and really doing a great job for us in the middle.
One of the other unsung heroes is your catcher, Chaz Bertolani. I think many folks don't realize he's catching every game, which is physically pretty tough, but he's also doing a great job handling the pitching staff. Talk a little bit about what Chaz brings back there and about that challenge of having to catch all 3 games in a weekend.
We tried to keep him away from that for the majority of the year, to keep him fresh. So hopefully now, out of necessity, he's doing that a little bit more. And then I think offensive's coming around a little bit too. And I think anytime, we all talk about when hitting's good, life is good. And, even for the catcher who we need to be a defender. And obviously Chaz is that defender first, but he's really picking us up. He handles the pitching staff. He does all those unsung things that are, so important to our team. But, also when you mix in a base hit or two every now and then, that keeps his spirits alive. So I'm excited to see what's coming next for him.
Good luck today, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Bison's head coach Jeff Forehand previewing today's game and getting the start on the mound. The sophomore right-hander Ike Buxton, 6'3", 208-pounder out of Ketchum, Idaho. Buxton making his 12th appearance on the season, all starting roles for Ike. He's pitched a total of 57 innings, given up 53 hits, 27 runs, 24 of which were earned. He struck out 49, walked 28. Opponents batting .252 against Buxton, so he comes in with a season record of 5 wins and 3 losses and an ERA of 3.79 for Ike Buxton. And he'll be going against this Bellarmine lineup that will have 3 left-handed bats in the lineup today, and the first of those will be the leadoff hitter, Matt Higgins, who really is the offensive spark plug for this team. He leads them with a .369 batting average, 19 home runs and 55 RBIs. He was held in check by the Bisons on Friday night. He went 0 for 3, but he broke loose yesterday with a 2 for 4 day, so he's now 2 for 7 on the weekend, and he'll get things started off against Ike Buxton. Game 3 of this 3-game series between these two teams. Swing and hit the first pitch foul and out of play to the left side. That'll be strike 1. Defensively, we'll set you for the Bisons. Maxwell is in left, Houghton in center, McMillan in right, Will Hoyt at third, Ketchup at short, Stamps at second, Malik Williams at first, Chaz Bertolani behind the plate, and Ike Buxton on the mound. And the 0-1 pitch is going to catch the inside corner, and it'll be no balls and 2 strikes. And that's something we've really seen the Bisons do all weekend, is work the inside part of the plate, starting with Michael Dunkelberger on Friday night. He really worked inside to these Bellarmine hitters and was very effective in doing so. And Buxton goes back and gets a call, strike 3. So 3 pitches and 1 out for Ike Buxton as he gets a called strikeout of Matt Higgins. And that'll bring up the catcher, Ashton Smith. He's hitting .333 on the season, no home runs and 11 RBIs. Smith on the weekend is 1 out of 9. Had a base hit in Friday's game, was 0 for 4 yesterday. Was the catcher on Friday and was the designated hitter in Saturday's affair.
One thing we're going to look at all weekend, we've seen the offense for the Bisons. You can't deny offense when you're having home runs like you saw on Friday in a 17-run game. But defensively, we were talking about before the game, only 1 walk yesterday for the Bisons, and that is key to what they need to get done as they head into the postseason. We've seen them struggle with the pitch control sometimes this season. There's been significantly more walks than I know Coach Forehand and pitching coach Matt Myers would love to see. But start gaining that control now, you're getting hot at the right time.
Counts a ball and 2 strikes to Ashton Smith as Buxton had moved that one over the outside part of the plate. Looks like a fastball. And so 1 ball and 2 strikes to Smith. And Buxton working quickly here. Gets it and comes back. That one's hit up the middle. And Ketchup is going to glove it behind the bag, turn and throw to first. Terrific play there, Caleb Ketchup. He was playing in his standard position in the 6-hole on the left side. Ball was not hit that hard. He was kept after it, gloved it, made a spin, and threw to first. And another outstanding play. We've seen Ketchup make play after play this weekend. And, Erica, his defense has just gotten better and better all season.
Absolutely. And those are the types of plays that you might see nominated for a SportsCenter top 10 situation. But for him, it's routine.
Jacob Mulkey is in there, and he swings through a fastball, and that'll be strike one. Mulkey batting .303 on the season, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. For the weekend, he's 2 out of 5. He's had a base hit in each game, and that one's going to be in there as well. And so Buxton really filling up the zone here in the first inning. He's ahead of Mulkey, no balls, 2 strikes. And
So
he's
far,
thrown only 1 ball so far in this
yes,
inning.
in the 9 pitches, they've been strikes except for that one.
And that's a strike 3. He's going to get the call there. So Ike Buxton comes out, lights out, strikes out 2 of the first 3 that he sees. And there's nothing doing for the Knights in the top of the first inning. We head to the bottom half of the first. No score between Bellarmine and Lipscomb. And you're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the bottom half of the first inning, and on the hill for the Bellarmine Knights will be the left-handed sophomore Gavin Broniker, 6'1", 190-pounder out of Effingham, Illinois. Broniker has made 12 appearances so far on the season. 10 of those have been starts. He's got 1 complete game. He's pitched a total of 65 innings, 69 hits, 38 runs, 34 earned, 51 strikeouts against 20 walks. Opponents batting .277 against him, so he's a record of 2 wins and 5 losses. And an ERA of 4.71, and the Bisons will send up a almost exclusively right-handed hitting lineup against him today. Only 1 left-handed bat in the lineup for the Bisons. And starting things off will be Caleb Ketchup. Caleb comes in batting .266, 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. He hit that home run on Friday night, his 5th home run of the season, that is. And so he's had an outstanding weekend, both at the plate and defensively, as we mentioned. So it'll be Ketchup, Houghton, and Lundgren scheduled to face Gavin Broniker. And the first pitch from Broniker will be a fastball off the plate. That'll be ball 1. First left-handed starter that we've seen for Bellarmine. They started Drew Burr on Friday night and Nolan Pender on Saturday, both of whom are right-handers. And in fact, I think even the relief staff has all been right-handers. So the first lefty arm that the Bisons have seen this season. Ketchup is going to hit that one foul and out of play to the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bisons have a record of 8 wins and 4 losses on the season against left-handed pitching. So they've found some success, and we'll try to get the series sweep today. 1-1 pitch to Ketchup. Fastball will stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike on Caleb. We'll set the defense for you in a moment. It's a pretty traditional alignment, although the third baseman back is just a step behind the grass at third, respecting the speed of Ketchup, who can really run and also can bunt. Here comes the 2-1. That's on the outside corner, and it's going to be a strike. So that's that fastball, and he's showing some arm side run. Sort of similar to what we see out of Matt Bonnard, where he's got that arm side run as a lefty, moving away from the right-handed hitter, and he got the outside part of the plate. So the count will be 2 balls and 2 strikes to Caleb Ketchup, batting with nobody out. Bottom of the first inning, Lipscomb and Bellarmine no score. And he hits that back up the middle, and that's going to get past the diving Sorg into center field, and that'll be a base hit for Caleb Ketchup.
We already mentioned Caleb Ketchup's proficiency on defense, but offensively, he's been just as much of a threat, and you mentioned his speed. Now that he's on the base running paths. We know that Coach Forehand likes to be aggressive with his base running when he has players like Caleb Ketchup. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to steal second and get things going offensively for the Bisons.
Yeah, Ketchup 24 out of 25 on stolen bases on the season, which is pretty phenomenal. He did get picked off in yesterday's game, which again was a rare event. We'll see if the Bisons elect to run here. Maddox Houghton's at the plate. Maddox batting .309 on the season. Shows bunt, bunts it. It's back to the mound. Bronecker's going to field it and flip to first, and they will get Houghton, but he executes a successful sacrifice bunt and moves Ketchup down to second base. So good bunt there by Maddox Houghton. He came in batting .309, 4 homers, 23 RBIs on the season. And he'll give way to Mason Lundgren, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup for the Bisons today. Mason comes in batting .311, 3 home runs and 33 RBIs. And that third home run came in yesterday's game as he hit an opposite field shot to left center field to put the Bisons ahead 1-0 in the first inning. So 1 out. Ketchup is running. The throw's going to go to third, and they're not going to get him. Terrific job there by Ketchup. We've seen him steal third base a lot this season. He got a great jump. Again, a little easier to steal third on the lefty than it was on first, but there is a left-handed hitter, and so the catcher has an unobstructed throw down to third. So that's always a tough play, but Ketchup, great jump. Steals third, and he's there now with 1 out, and Lundgren with a chance to drive a run in. High and inside, stuck it under his chin, and he took it for a ball, ball 1. Actually, ball 2, correction. The first pitch was a ball as well.
And one thing that has to be critical here for Bellarmine is that not only has Lipscomb had a strong offense, they've been playing from ahead. They've had that advantage all weekend long. So if Bellarmine can get a stop here and get some offense on the board, that would be crucial to them trying to play upset this weekend.
Bronnecker throws a curveball in there and gets it for a strike. So 2-0 pitch that he threw the curve, and he froze Lundgren. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mason. Infield drawn in again. We've seen this all weekend. Bellarmine bringing their infield in early in the game, and he just hit him in the back with a fastball. So he tried to come inside again. Second time, he missed earlier in the at-bat inside, and that one hits Lundgren. So runners will be at the corners for the Bisons with 1 out, and Malik Williams will stand in. Malik, top batting average on the team, .365 for the season. Second on the team in homers with 9 home runs, and he's hit 50 RBIs on the season, which leads the team. And Williams has had himself a fine weekend. He went 3 for 5 with 5 RBIs on Friday night, including a 3-run home run. He was 0 for 3 yesterday, so he's looking to get back in the hit column today. But Lundgren will be a runner at first, and Ketchup with great speed at third. And the Knights will have to shift back defensively into a standard alignment. They're up the middle for double play depth. Third baseman back is off the line now and going to play about even with the bag. And, of course, Crane over at first will be holding the runner on. So Malik Williams in an RBI situation here, and that fastball is going to run away, ball 1. That ball that Malik hit on Friday night was a no-doubter. It was a rainy, cold, windy night on Friday night, but Malik launched an absolute missile into left field. And
if you haven't taken a look at that highlight, I highly recommend that you do because it was a very impressive hit.
Base hit into right field there. Malik Williams drives in the Bison's first run of the day, and Lipscomb's going to take a 1-0 lead on the RBI single off of the bat of Malik Williams. He hit that hard just past the second baseman Sorg, who had him shaded up the middle. Malik Williams is going to drive in the first Bison's run of the day. They take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the first inning. Yeah, I made the comment on the broadcast, Erica, that I think the ball that Malik hit Friday night would have been out of Yellowstone Park. That thing was absolutely crushed.
Absolutely. And he knew it, too. Yeah. You saw him hit that ball, and it took about 2 seconds for him to realize that ball was out of this park.
He enjoyed the flight of it. Here's Rudy Maxwell. Rudy batting .298 on the season, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. Runners first and second, 1 out. Swung on, hit high in the air to right field. Drifting back is Mulkey. Still going back, still going back. He's at the wall, leaps up, and gone. A home run, 3-run home run for Rudy Maxwell.
Rudy's mom was one of the ones down there throwing out the first pitch, and so I'm sure his mom is happy to see that home run. Rudy, a transfer from Duke, came back home to Nashville for his senior year, and I think he's really enjoyed this experience, getting to be here with his family and his fiance, and that makes it even sweeter. This afternoon on Mother's Day, a home run for Mom.
That's a pretty sweet way to celebrate Mother's Day. That's a 3-run shot. I wasn't sure that was going to get caught. Mulkey kept going back, jumped at the wall, made a terrific attempt, but it got over the wall, and so Lipscomb has jumped out now to a 4-0 lead here in the first inning. And Trace Wilhoit is going to stand in there, the third baseman. He hits this one on the ground foul down the third base line. Trace comes in batting just .235, but leading the team in home runs, 10 home runs and 28 RBIs. And one of those home runs came last night in the Saturday ball game. So Lipscomb on top now 4-0, and Wilhoit swings and hits this one high in the air to deep left center field. Still going back and looking up, and that's gone. Back-to-back home runs. Trace Wilhoit goes yard for his 11th home run of the season.
I feel like all seasons has kind of been a competition between Trace and Malik in the home run race. Trace already had a one-run advantage, and he wanted to extend that lead against teammate Malik Williams, but they're obviously going to celebrate with each other. Trace has been huge for the Bisons, a great pickup by Coach Forehand in addition to this team. His mom was also here, so the boys getting it done for their moms this weekend, and
lots of happy mamas today.
Bison fans love to see it.
Bisons are out to a 5-0 lead, and they continue their red-hot streak at the plate. Here's Cam McMillan. He's getting his first start of the weekend. Cam's only had 23 at-bats on the season, 3 hits, and he takes a fastball through there for a strike. Cam got the start in right field today, batting .130 on the season. He has 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, but one of those 2 home runs came against Bellarmine in the series at Bellarmine back in April. He swings and fouls that one back, and the count will be 0-2 on Cam McMillan. So if you're just joining us, it's been a productive inning for the Bisons. Catch-up single to start things off. Houghton sacrificed him to second. Mason Lundgren was hit by a pitch. Malik Williams hits a 3-run home run. Or correction, Malik Williams had a single, and that was followed by Rudy Maxwell's 3-run home run. And then Trace Wilhoit with a solo home run. So we've got 5 runs in the first inning. Still just 1 out, and Cam McMillan batting with the bases loaded. That's going to miss. Nope, it's going to be called strike 3. Inside part of the plate. McMillan wasn't too fond of the call, but he is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. That will be the first strikeout of the day for Gavin Broniker. And that'll bring up second baseman Ethan Stamps. Stamps batting .258 on the season, 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. Stamps also homered in that Friday night game. Bisons hit 4 home runs in that game. It was Ketchup, Williams, Maxwell, and Stamps all going deep as part of that 18-hit attack on Friday night. Stamps hits this one down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. He is going to round first and try to make it to second. The throw's on the way there, and he's going to be out by a mile. So Higgins shows you an excellent arm, and Stamps hit that one down the line, but Higgins has really got good speed. He gets over and cuts it off, and then he fires it into second. And so Ethan Stamps will be credited with a single, but he'll get thrown out trying to extend that for the third out of the inning. But it's a very productive inning for the Bisons. They get 5 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors and no one left on base. And at the end of a full inning, your new score, Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the second inning. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 5-0, and Ike Buxton back out there after a terrific first inning. Ike with 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning, and he'll be facing 4, 5, and 6 with Crane, Melbauer, and Back to start things off for Bellarmine here. Crane is a sophomore. He's playing first base. He bats .281, 4 homers and 20 RBIs, and one of those home runs came in Friday night's game where he hit a long fly ball out to right field. Buxton starts him off with a fastball that's going to miss high and inside for ball 1. That's only the second ball that Buxton has thrown today. He really filled up the strike zone in the first inning. The 1-0 is going to miss downstairs, be 2-0. So Buck's done a fastball changeup pitcher primarily. He'll run his fastball up in the mid-90s, 94, 95 miles an hour. Comes from a low three-quarter arm slot. It's not a sidearm slot, but it is a very low slot on the three-quarter side. And that's hit on the ground of Malik Williams. He's going to glove it, and he's going to jog to the bag. And so Crane hit it well, but hit it right to Malik Williams. So an unassisted put out there, and that's out number 1 of the inning. And that'll bring up shortstop Clayton Melbauer. Melbauer batting .236, 4 home runs and 18 RBIs for Melbauer. He's 1 for 8 on the weekend. Had a base hit and scored a run in yesterday's game. Melbauer, a senior, has played a lot of ball for this Bellarmine team. Shows bunt and pulls back and takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Haven't seen a lot of bunting from Bellarmine over the weekend. And they've been playing from behind. As we mentioned, that's fouled out of play, and quickly Buxton gets ahead again, 0-2 on Clayton Melbauer. And that's going to be a called strike 3. So there you go. Ike Buxton with his 3rd strikeout of the day, all of which have been called strikeouts. And he is really locked in here as we see him throwing as well as we've seen him all season. Buxton always has the elite stuff, and when he's in the zone and can mix in both sides of the plate, he is really effective. So here's Peyton back. Third baseman is a junior, batting .256, 5 homers, 17 RBIs. Hits the first pitch on the ground to Caleb Ketchett. He'll take a couple steps. He'll throw high, but Malik Williams is tall enough to corral that one in. So just like that, it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Bisons and Ike Buxton. He's retired 6 in a row. And we'll head to the bottom of the 2nd inning, and your score, Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Bison, starting with catcher Chaz Bertolani. Chaz batting .208 on the season, 1 home run and 11 RBIs. Came out red hot on Friday night's game, had a double and a single, was 2 for 4 and 3 runs scored. And catching his 3rd game of the weekend, as we mentioned in our pregame show. If you saw with Coach Forehand, Bertolani has stepped up and catching almost every game now, which is physically tough to do. He hits that one on the ground towards short. Melbauer's going to glove it. He's going to flip to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, and Caleb Ketchett. He got things started for the Bisons in the first with a solid base hit. He was sacrificed to second by Maddox Houghton. He ended up stealing third, but it didn't matter as Malik Williams was able to drive him in with a base hit. Bisons put up a 5 spot in the 1st inning. So Gavin Brownecker out there again for his 2nd inning of work. And already back to the top of the lineup. And that's a fastball that will, we'll just say, generously get the extended inside part of the plate. That's called a strike 1. Seen the plate be to the larger side this weekend, but that's an adjustment that players make on both sides. So here comes the 0-1 pitch from Brownecker to Caleb Ketchett. Swung on and hit on a line off the glove of back at third. It's going to be picked up by Melbauer, and he'll throw to first, but he won't have a play, and it's actually going to get away. So it turns out to be a poor decision to throw it. That's going to allow Ketchup to jog down to second on the throwing error. I think the initial hit will probably be scored a base hit. That was hit like a rocket. I didn't think back would get a glove on it. He did, and in fact, that's what they've scored it as a base hit. So Ketchup will be 2 for 2, and then he'll take second on the throwing error. So that'll be the first error of the day for the Knights, and they've been victimized a bit by the error all weekend. They committed 3 errors Friday night and 2 errors yesterday. So Ketchup at second. And we've already seen today that he has a propensity to like to advance from there 90 feet away to third. So we'll see if he's in motion again. Maddox Houghton's up there. First at bat, he sacrificed Ketchup from first to second as Ketchup had singled to start the first inning. Again, Maddox comes in batting .309, 4 homers and 23 RBIs, and the fastball will stay high, ball 1.
And Gavin Broniker, he doesn't have the advantage of Ketchup being at first with that throwing error, because now he has to look behind him to see if Caleb Ketchup is going to try to steal, and we'll probably see it. We already saw it once today, like you mentioned.
He's not running, and Houghton's going to take that breaking ball inside and low for ball 2. If you weren't with us on Friday night, you might have missed that Maddox Houghton won the highest award in the baseball program here at Lipscomb, the Ken Dugan Award. It's given once a year to the top player who represents not just outstanding athletic ability, but character and scholarship and leadership. Coach Forehand telling us yesterday that Maddox was a unanimous choice of the coaching staff. Got a lot of outstanding players on this team, but he was one that's had a special career here. And so that's a fastball that'll miss outside, ball 3. So exciting to see Maddox Houghton win that award. And then yesterday, as Erica mentioned, he received a graduate degree, I believe, and graduated with a perfect 4.0 average. So you just have to tip your cap to someone who's been a terrific athlete, but also a model citizen and a terrific student at Lipscomb. And the 3-0 pitch is going to miss way outside. Almost looked like they pitched around him in that at-bat. They certainly weren't going to come in. But they don't gain a lot because Mason Lundgren comes to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, but he's batting .311 on the season. Ketchup your runner at second and Houghton your runner at first. And again, we've seen with this combination some double steals throughout the season. We're going to get a mound visit here. Just to remind you, Ketchup now 25 out of 26 in stolen bases. That's a terrific percentage. Maddox Houghton is 19 out of 23. So I won't do the math on that, Erica, but that's pretty good. When you got 2 guys that are doing that, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your pitching staff and on the defense. And that's probably what Bellarmine is talking about here as they have a mound visit. Give us a chance to update you about the standings in the A-Sun. The West Division is really a tight race. You got 4 teams that you could throw a hat over at the top. Eastern Kentucky is leading the division at 16-7. And right behind them at 15-8 are Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas in action against North Alabama today. Lipscomb obviously playing here against Bellarmine. And right on the heels of those two is Jacksonville State, who's 14-9. Jacksonville State has already completed their weekend series with Eastern Kentucky. I believe Eastern took all 3 of those games. So Eastern Kentucky put a little separation, but they're a game ahead of Lipscomb and Central Arkansas, and Jacksonville State just 1 more game behind. The top 3 teams will automatically move on to the conference tournament. So it's going to be a race to the wire here in these final 2 weekends. Among those 4 teams, Bellarmine is in 5th place at 7-16, North Alabama in 6th place at 2-21. Here's Mason Lundgren, and he takes a breaking ball that, again, generously is going to get the outside part of the plate. It'll be no balls and 1 strike.
You know, both teams are going to have some calls that they're a little frustrated about, but the umps have been calling it very evenly. It might be a little bit larger strike zone than the teams are used to, but it's been very fair both ways.
And they got Ketchup picked off a second, so I thought he might have gotten back in there. Excellent move there. He was using that vault lead where he extended his lead after Broniker came set, and the shortstop Melbauer got behind him. Broniker made an athletic play, whipped around and threw it there. Again, no replay here at Ken Dugan Field. It was a close play, but Ketchup is picked off for the 2nd time this weekend. And again, that's not something we've seen a whole lot, but that changes the complexion of the inning, as that'll be the first out of the inning. And now, or correction, 2nd out of the inning. Lundgren looks at a pitch outside, so it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike. Maddox Houghton still running at first. He's there via the walk, but instead of 1st and 2nd with 1 out, it's now a runner at first with 2 outs and a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Mason Lundgren. The throw will go to first. So, well executed play there by the Knights. Again, Ketchup using that vault lead, and he just got caught on the wrong foot. So, a learning opportunity there, and I'm sure something that Coach Forehand and the staff will be reviewing with him and the other runners. Houghton with a very generous lead at first, and they're going to throw back again. It's almost inviting Broniker to throw over there with a 4 or 5 step lead and staying active in his field of vision.
And it almost seemed with that Ketchup pickoff that Caleb Ketchup ended up in a very awkward position. It didn't seem like he just had a straight shot back
Yeah,
to
he
the
was
base.
he was on the wrong foot for sure there. So that's a breaking ball downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mason Lundgren. Again, we're playing in the bottom of the second inning. Lipscomb jumped out to a 5-0 lead with 5 runs in the first inning. Back-to-back home runs off the bat of Rudy Maxwell and Trace Wilhoit. And so far, Ike Buxton has been terrific for the Bisons on the mound. 6 up and 6 down. They're going to throw to first yet again. And Chase Maddox Houghton back. And he'll get back over there. Beautiful day at the ballpark. It's 69 degrees is what I was showing earlier, but full sunshine, almost no clouds in the sky. And after 2 uncharacteristically cool days, this has been a beauty here today. That's a nice pitch on the outside corner. Again, 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Mason Lundgren. Malik Williams is on deck if Lundgren can keep the inning alive. But there are 2 outs, and we'll see if Houghton gets in motion here on the 2-2 pitch. He's not running. Again, throw's going to go to first. You'll see a lot of base runners steal what that's called the first move steal. That they just take off on the first flinch of the pitcher and sort of guessing whether they're going to go home or first. That time Houghton did not bite. Pitch going to go home, and he's going to swing through an off-speed pitch there for strike 3. That'll be the second strikeout of the day for Gavin Broniker. And the Bisons will waste a base runner and an error, so they had 1 hit, no runs. There was 1 man left on base, and we've played 2 full innings in your score. Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine nothing. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the third inning. Lipscomb 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Bellarmine. And Ike Buxton has been 6 up, 6 down so far. He'll be facing Ackerman, English, and Sorg, the bottom of the Bellarmine order. And Ackerman comes in batting .274, no home runs, 10 RBIs on the season. He's going to look at a fastball that must have missed low. That'll be ball 1 to Ackerman. So far on the weekend, he had 2 hits in Friday night's game and then was 1 for 4 yesterday. So he's had a solid weekend. He taps that off the end of the bat. It's going to roll foul, and the count will be a ball and a strike. We're seeing some activity down in the Bellarmine bullpen. Bellarmine used 3 pitchers on Friday night. Drew Burr started, followed by Joe Wilkinson and Cody Medley. Only 2 yesterday as Nolan Pender went 6 innings, and then Matt Craven pitched the final 2. So both bullpens relatively rested. The Bisons got 8 innings out of Michael Dunkelberger on Friday night and 1 inning out of Caleb Cantola. And then last night, Colin Winsky went 5, Tyler Legier 2, and a single inning from Matthew Bonnert and Trey Nordman. And that's going to be a fastball that'll miss inside and low, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that is only Ike Buxton's 20th pitch here as we're in the third inning, and 15 of those 20 have been strikes. So far, Ike Buxton has controlled this game, even though those last 2 pitches have missed.
So he's 3 balls and 1 strike now on Ackerman. As you mentioned, Buxton really was filling up the zone early on, and that one's going to miss downstairs as well. So he's going to have his first walk of the day. And Ackerman will be aboard with nobody out, and that'll bring up Ethan English. First time we've seen English this weekend. He's a senior. He's the designated hitter today. Only has 11 at-bats on the season, and he's still looking for his first base hit. So English getting the start here as Coach Larry Owens trying to shake things up a little bit and get a little more offense out of his team. They had 6 hits in Friday night's game and 6 hits yesterday. But they've been victimized by the long ball by the Bisons and a big offensive output. As we mentioned, 18 hits for Lipscomb on Friday and 10 hits yesterday. And they've already got 6 more in the books here today through the first 2 innings. So Buxton gets set to work to English. Starts him off with a fastball that will miss inside for ball one. Defensively, pretty standard alignment for the Bisons here. Not much of a shift, and there's probably not much of a book on English with only 11 at-bats on the season. They don't have a lot of sample size to draw from as they make those charts. Throw will go to first, and good move there. Buxton has quick feet, makes a good strong throw over, and Ackerman will get back. He is 10 for 12 on the season, second leading base stealer on the team behind Matt Higgins. For the weekend, we've not seen a lot of the running game out of the Knights because, again, they've been playing from behind through most of the first two games. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He swings through the fastball there, and it'll be a ball and a strike. We mentioned Buxton, primarily fastball. He's going to throw a majority of that fastball to both sides of the plate. He does have a changeup that's very effective when he can get it over. And he'll show you a slider from time to time as well. The 1-1 pitch is fouled into the right side. Malik Williams is drifting over, and he's going to glove it there. So English hit it off the into the bat, and he'll be retired for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Casey Sorg. He's also making his first appearance in the weekend. Freshman playing at second base today. He's batting .297 on the season, just has 37 at-bats with 11 hits, no homers and 7 RBIs.
And this game is far from over. We're only here in the top of the third inning, but it seems to me already down 5-0 that it is critical what the Knights are able to do with Jack Ackerman on, if they're able to at least score a run in this inning and get some offense going to hopefully stop the bleeding.
Buxton misses down and in on ball one to Sorg. Sorg's a freshman, as we mentioned. He's from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana. 6'3", 205-pounder. Switch hitter, so he's batting from the left side here against Buxton, and he pulled the string on him there, and that was fouled back to the screen, got a piece of Chaz Bertolani, and so home plate umpire Eric Gaucher will walk out to the mound and give Chaz a chance to brush that one off. That courtesy dance that goes between catchers and umpires, as both of them have to take care of each other back there. There's a lot of punishments that's dished out back there.
And it's still impressive to me to see Chaz Bertolani catch as many games as he has caught in a row. Due to some injuries, he's done an incredible job behind the plate as well as offensively for the Bisons.
That's going to be a base hit into left field. Sorg with a nice piece of hitting there. He goes over the shortstop, Caleb Ketchup, and that'll be the first hit of the day for the Knights. And so Sorg now will advance the runner to second, and runners will be at first and second with one out, and back to the top of the order, and Matt Higgins. Higgins was called out on strikes back in the first inning. We mentioned, though, he is the leading hitter for this Bellarmine Knights team. He's batting .367 now on the season, and you know that he can swing the bat. 19 home runs. He has set both the single season record and the career record for home runs at Bellarmine, and he's just had an outstanding season. He's two-time ASUN Player of the Week already, and Buxton pulls the string. That's the changeup, which is a terrific pitch for Ike when he's able to locate it, and he got Higgins to swing through it there. 0-1. Higgins also on the preseason All-ASUN team, and with the stats he's put up, I think it's a fair bet that he may be on the postseason All-ASUN team as well. He's had a terrific year. Checks his swing. Did he go? And they're going to say he did not. That was a breaking ball that missed inside. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Matt Higgins. A little bit of a shift on here. Second baseman Ethan Stamps pulled over into the hole between first and second. Malik Williams is almost standing on the first baseline. So they do play him to pull, at least in the infield. And he swings that one and fits it, fouls it back to the screen. Buxton ran the fastball in on his hands there, and he hit it off his thumbs back to the screen for a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Higgins. Ackerman is your runner at second, and Sorg is your runner at first, and we have 1 out, and we're in the top of the third inning as Lipscomb leads Bellarmine 5-0. And that's going to skip past Chaz Bertolani. Looked like it hit in front of the plate. It'll get back to the screen, and that'll be a wild pitch, allowing both runners to move up 90 feet. So first wild pitch of the day, that'll make the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now Higgins with a base hit could get the Knights right back in this one. As you mentioned, Erica, they'd like to get a chance to chip their way back into this after really not doing much damage against Buxton in the first couple of innings. And they've certainly got the guy they would want at the plate, Matt Higgins. 55 RBIs on the season, 19 home runs. He's got a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Wouldn't shock me to see Buxton come back with that changeup. He really was effective early in the count here, so we'll see if Coach Myers is thinking similar to what we are, and he's not, and that's a fastball, and he hit him. So that's going to load the bases now. as Higgins is aboard, and that'll bring up the catcher Ashton Smith, who grounded out to shortstop back in the first. And the Knights are threatening here in the top half of the third inning with only one out. Just to recap the inning, Ackerman walked. English popped out to first. Sorg singled into left field, and both runners advanced on a wild pitch, and then Higgins was hit by the pitch. So the bases are full of Knights, and Ashton Smith has a chance to get his team on the board here, and he check swings through an inside fastball, but he doesn't get it, and it's 0-1.
And I think Ashton Smith needs to have a very smart at bat here. You see the bases loaded, and I mean, as a player, you have to be thinking grand slam. It's more important to get these runs batted in than try to go for all the glory and end up with a fly out.
He'd like a base hit here, and even a fly ball could score a run, and that one missed downstairs. It's ball and a strike, so Buxton is laboring a little bit more here in this inning than he did in the first two. He was really cruising through those first two with 6 up and 6 down. His control hasn't been quite as sharp here in his third inning of work, but it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with 1 out. And he gets him to swing through that one, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That again looked like it might have been the changeup, and Smith was badly fooled on it. Bertolani stood up and bluffed to first, but Malik Williams is not coming behind the runner, and that's because the base runner there, who is Matt Higgins, had a huge secondary lead. So Bertolani kind of sending him a message that, hey, I haven't forgotten about you over there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. And he gets him to swing through that one, strike 3. Good sequence of pitches there from Mike Buxton. And that will be a big second out of the inning. That will be the 4th strikeout on the day for Buxton. And that'll bring up Jacob Mulkey, and he was one of those strikeout victims back in the first inning. Buxton punched him out on 3 straight pitches, got a called 3rd strike. So 2 outs and the bases loaded. Bison's infield is back as they're trying to get themselves out of this jam here in the 3rd inning, and he swings through the fastball there, 0-1. He was late on a fastball. Lipscomb leading 5-0. They put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the first. Neither team has scored in the second, and we're in the top of the 3rd. And that's going to be tapped past the mound. Tough play. Caleb Ketchup's going to barehand it, can't get it, and that'll be an infield base hit, and that'll score a run. Tough play. It got over the mound, and once it did, Ketchup again playing very deep, had to come in, tried to barehand it. I think that'll be a base hit, and indeed it is. An RBI base hit for Jacob Mulkey. And that'll make the score 5-1. Not much you could do on that one. It would have taken an absolute highlight reel play to find a way to make that play. So Sorg will advance over to 3rd. Ackerman scores. Higgins down to 2nd, and Mulkey is on. 2nd hit of the inning and 2nd hit of the day for Bellarmine, and that'll bring up Davis Crane. He grounded out back in the 2nd inning. So bases are still loaded here, but 2 outs. That one missed downstairs, 4-1. So early chance for the Knights to get back in this one. And Crane is going to do that. He hits a base hit into right field. Here comes Sorg around to score. They're going to wave Higgins in, and he'll score, and it's 5-3.
Great base hitting by Jacob Mulkey and Davis Crane.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting there. Crane not trying to do too much. He's a big, strong guy. We saw him hit the ball out of the park Friday night, but he did just what he needed to do. Guided that up the middle, and just like that, it's 5-3, and 3 hits in the inning now for Bellarmine, and with 2 outs, it'll be Clayton Melbauer, who was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd. Runner still 1st and 2nd. You've got Mulkey running at 2nd and Crane running at 1st. And that's going to be a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. So definitely the kind of response that Coach Owens would like to see from his team here in this 3rd inning, as they've cut the Lipscomb lead to 5-3. And he swings and fouls that one back at the plate, 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes. And I think one thing, as we talked about, Erica, the control this inning, 2 of those runs that have scored were on via either the walk or the hit by pitch. And those are the things that we talked about earlier that you stay away from, and you tend to be more successful on the mound. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He's tapped that one towards 3rd. Barehanded play is not going to be able to be made by Trace Wilhoit. That was another squibber, and we've seen Wilhoit make that play a bunch of times, but that one just kicked off his hand. That's going to be another infield single. And so the Knights have not really hit the ball hard this inning, but they've been effective. And they've now got 4 base hits in the inning, and the bases are loaded once again. And pitching coach Matt Myers is going to jog out to the mound to talk to Ike Buxton. So.
And now that you have the go-ahead run at first for the Knights, the beginning of this inning, it seemed like Lipscomb was just about to run away with this game. We were only in the third, but they had held complete control. We came into this inning, I think Ike Buxton had 20 pitches coming into this third inning, and we were seeing a lot of action in the Knights bullpen as they had struggled with pitch control and getting runs in from the Bisons. But now it seems that we might start to see some action down in the Bison's bullpen. I don't see anyone in there right now, but after this conversation with Coach Myers, and depending on how Ike is able to, or if he is able to get out of this jam, it feels like the momentum is now swinging in Lipscomb's favor rather than Bellarmine's.
The bases are loaded, and Peyton Back is in there. He's the 9th man to bat in the inning. He grounded out back in the second. Back again, 1 for 8 on the weekend, actually 1 for 9 now after that ground out. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Lipscomb leading 5-3 in the top of the third inning, and that's a fastball that's going to miss downstairs, and it'll be ball 1. So Buxton was getting ahead of these hitters, now gotten behind through several hitters this inning. The bases are loaded. Mulkey, your runner at third, Crane at second, Melbauer at first, and Buxton will work from the stretch. And that's going to be a fastball strike, ball and a strike. Peyton Beck on the season, 5 home runs and 17 RBIs, so he's actually third on the team in home runs. Not much wind to speak of today at the ballpark. Again, it's been very windy all weekend, but it isn't today. That's hit on the ground, foul down the third baseline, and that'll make the count a ball and 2 strikes. Windy, cold night on Friday night. Cloudy, overcast, and windy yesterday, but today the flag is hanging almost limply out in left center field. So I don't think wind will be a factor. It is by far the nicest day we've had. If you're in the area, please come on out to the ballpark. We still got a lot of baseball to play here. It is a gorgeous day.
This might be our last day of spring, so spend some time outside. It looks like it's going to heat up here in Nashville.
Ground ball to third there, and it's going to flip to first, and that's going to be the third out of the inning. So nice play for Will Hoyt there to retire Beck on the ground out. And they'll strand 3 runners, but it's a productive inning for the Knights. They score 3 runs on 4 hits. They do leave those 3 runners, and we've got a brand new ball game. At the end of 3 innings, your score, Lipscomb 5 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. They score 80% of the time, so no, it's true. I mean, it's just oh gosh, that's funny. To the bottom half of the third inning we go. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 5-3, and it'll be Malik Williams, Rudy Maxwell, and Trace Wilhoit to face Gavin Broniker. Left-hander's gone all the way. 2 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 5 earns, walked 1 and struck out 2, and he's thrown 31 pitches through the first 2 innings. Malik Williams had an RBI single back in the first, increasing his team leading total to 51 RBI now on the season. And he swings through the fastball there, 0-1 to Malik Williams. So again, if you joined us late, Bison's 5 runs in the first inning. There were back-to-back home runs, a 3-run blast from Rudy Maxwell and a solo shot by Trace Wilhoit. But Bellarmine fought back and put 3 runs up in the top of the third, and so we're 5-3 here in the bottom of the third. That's going to bounce up there, and it'll be a ball and a strike on Malik Williams. We mentioned the flag hanging limply. It's a symmetric ballpark here at Ken Dugan Field. 330 feet down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, 400 to straightaway center field. So big park, and it's going to play big today with no wind. But that one's hit way in the air to left center field. Goodbye. Home run, Malik Williams. His 11th home run on the season, 10th home run on the season, and that was a no-doubter off the bat. A solid shot over the left field wall, and the Bisons will extend their lead 6-3.
Malik has been getting it done all weekend for the Bisons. Another just clean home run. That was just fun to watch. The power that came off the bat. And I said that I thought that he and Trace Wilhoit might be going at each other to see who can get the home run title on the season. We already got a home run from Trace today, and Malik wanted to follow that one up.
So Rudy Maxwell is standing in. He's already hit a 3-run home run, and I'm chuckling because Malik Williams just got the treatment from the dugout there. Normally the guys are out waiting to greet him and give him a fist bump in the air, and that time everybody ignored him, act like nothing had happened, and he had to jump in and jumped on his own, and then they went to celebrate with him. So a little bit of fun being had in the dugout. Rudy Maxwell takes a fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And I'm sure Malik will got a chuckle out of that one as well, because normally there's a receiving line set up for him there, and he wasn't that time. Maxwell swings and fouls that one back. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rudy had a big hack at that one. We mentioned he had the 3-run home run back in the first inning. So 3 home runs in the day already for the Bisons. Maxwell, Wilhoit, and Malik Williams all going deep. And again, the Bisons using the long ball here to contribute to 6 runs. They've got 6 runs now on 7 hits on the day. And we're just in the 3rd inning. Nobody's out. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be a solid shot into left center field. It's headed toward the gap. Maxwell's going to make a big turn at first, and he's not going to slow down. He's going to head towards second. The throw's going to be offline, which is probably a good thing. They might have had him. But Rudy Maxwell legs out a hustle double there. He hit that ball solidly. It went into the gap in left center field. Again, Higgins is an excellent defensive outfielder. He gets over there quickly. He's got a strong arm. But that ball was offline, and so Rudy Maxwell, second base hit of the day. As you said earlier, Erica, he is giving his mother a very happy Mother's Day here. She gets to see her son be successful at the plate. So that'll be the 8th hit of the day for the Bisons, and now standing in is Trace Wilhoit. Last time he was up there, we saw him hit a solo shot. He now leads the team with 11 home runs on the season. So Maxwell, your runner at second, nobody out here. And he swings through a high fastball there, 0-1.
It seemed like the 3rd inning was swinging in the Knights' favor, and Lipscomb has turned right around here in the bottom half of the inning. And a leadoff home run, a runner on second. The Bisons are here to prove that this is their home ballpark, and they want to take the series sweep.
That's a fastball in there for strike 2. Wilhoit watched that one go across, so it's no balls and 2 strikes on Trace Wilhoit. Rudy Maxwell, your runner at second. Cam McMillan is on deck for the Bisons. And that's looks like a breaking ball that stayed high. A ball and 2 strikes to Wilhoit. Still no one throwing in the bullpen for Bellarmine. Bronicker's gone all the way. His last start last weekend against Eastern Kentucky, he did go 7 innings in that one. Wilhoit fouls that one back to the screen. Count remain a ball and 2 strikes. So on May the 1st, he went 7 innings against Eastern Kentucky, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, walked 2, struck out 6. 5 innings in his previous start against Central Arkansas. And he's gone 7 or 8 innings in a couple of other starts. So Broniker has gone deep in some games this season for the Knights, throwing anywhere in the 90 to 103 range of pitches. That's a fastball or stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wilhoit. Right now he's at 39 pitches here as we play in the 3rd inning. Still nobody out. Lipscomb leading 6-3 over Bellarmine. Has 3 home runs already on the day for the Bisons, and I think they like this sunny weather today here, Erica. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's going to miss inside and low with a breaking ball. And the count's gone now full after Wilhoit was down, no balls, 2 strikes. He's fought back to a 3-2 count. Outfield straight away and fairly deep. They've played deep all weekend, and with the long balls that the Bisons have hit, you can understand why. And that fastball just did not come back over the plate. So if Trace Wilhoit will draw a walk, and that'll put runners at first and second for Cam McMillan, who was a strikeout victim back in the 1st inning. Almost wonder if you might see the Bisons try to bunt the runners over here, but No signals coming in yet from Coach Forehand. He's making some notes. I doubt he's filling out his grocery list there. He's probably noting something on that card that he wants to cover with his team later, and he does give some signs now. We're going to be set as Braunecker gets set to come to McMillan. He is not bunting. He checks his swing and takes a pitch that'll miss high for ball one. So third baseman back is still playing as if there could be a bunt. He's got a foot on the grass, and now he may back up a step or two. Again, McMillan's got some pop. He hit a home run up at Bellarmine in the series up there. He's not bunting, and he swings through the fastball there, and the count will be a ball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cam McMillan. Ethan Stamps on deck. Again, Malik Williams started this inning with a solo shot to left field. Rudy Maxwell doubled. Trace Wilhoit walked, and now McMillan, as the Knights have yet to record an out in this third inning. That's a fastball right through there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cam McMillan. Getting the start in right field today, as we mentioned, just 24 at-bats on the season so far. And Braunecker needs an out here. Change the complexion of the inning. If he can get an out here, then he'd be in a double play situation to get himself out of this inning. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. McMillan will try to stay alive. Maxwell, your runner at second. Will Hoyt, your runner at first. And I think we got some confusion on the signs here. So the catcher, Ashton Smith, will jog out to the mound, and he and Braunecker will try to get on the same page. And they're actually going to call first baseman Davis Crane over as well. So while they do, we'll talk about the other division in the ASUN. We mentioned the tight race in the West. The East is really a 2-team race right now. Liberty and Kennesaw State both tied at a record of 15-8. Florida Gulf Coast is 13-10, comfortably in third place, and then Jacksonville 10-13, North Florida 10-13, and Stetson bringing up the rear at 6-17. So tighter race on the west side here. Again, the format of the tournament a little different this year. 3 teams from the west, 3 from the east, and then the next 2 highest in the RPI. And so it's going to come down to the wire here these last 2 weekends. They're very meaningful. Lipscomb will be at Eastern Kentucky next weekend. That's a huge series, Erica, as the Colonels are leading the division. And so the Bisons really have a chance to put themselves in a good position there, and then they come home and finish with 3 against North Alabama.
The Bisons really have a better second half of the schedule. They had a really tough first half of the schedule. They were on the road against some of the top division teams, and as that pitch is going to get away from the catcher, and runners will advance to second and third.
It looked like it was a fastball that just stayed inside, so that'll put runners second and third now with nobody out. So that's a disappointment for the Knights because you get out of the double play situation there, and the count will move to 2-2. Again, it looked like an inside fastball, and that came after the conference, so I got to believe that they weren't crossed up on signs, but Smith was unable to glove it. So now Maxwell running at third, Will Hoyt at second. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cam McMillan. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Infield is about halfway, and he's going to hit that one foul down the third base side. He'll stay alive with a count of 2-2. By halfway, I mean that they're about halfway in the dirt between the cutout and the infield and the outfield grass, and so they are respect the power off of McMillan's bat, but they'll try to hold that runner at third and keep him from scoring on a ground ball. Obviously, the double play not in order here. Braunecker comes set and gets ready to bring the 2-2 pitch in, and that's fouled out of play. So McMillan is extending the at-bat here. Seems to be getting fastballs currently from Braunecker, and we see someone throwing down in the bullpen for the Knights. Can't make out a number from our vantage point, but it looks like a right-hander is starting to get loose pretty quickly down there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. 1 run in already this inning for the Bisons as they extend their lead to 6-3. And Braunecker's either fallen asleep or he really wants to go through those signs a couple times. Very long look in to his catcher. And he shakes him off and goes through another set of signs. So he has really slowed the tempo down here, but he's got his sign now and he comes set. And he misses high with a fastball, and the count now has gone full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes as McMillan has really extended this at bat.
We haven't seen a lot of action out of McMillan, but he has done exceptionally well against Bellarmine. You already mentioned the home run that he hit last time. I believe he actually got 2 while they were up in Louisville.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the payoff pitch, and he swings through it there, strike 3. So Braunecker wins that battle. Second strikeout of the day third strikeout of the day, correction, and 2 of those have belonged to McMillan. So there's 1 out, and that brings up Ethan Stamps. Stamps had a single back in the first inning and tried to stretch it into a double and was cut down. And heading out to the mound here for a visit is Coach Owens, and that may be the end of the day for Braunecker. We'll see how they elect to play this one. Coach Larry Owens in his 9th season with Bellarmine. We mentioned he's bringing the program into the Division I era. They were an outstanding D2 program. They won over 34 games 3 straight years, 2017, 18, and 19. They won 34 in 2017, 38 in 2018, 34 in 2019, going to the NCAA Division II tournaments. That 2018 squad had a program record 38 wins. So they were off to a good start in 2020 when the COVID pandemic stopped the season. They were 10-4, and then last season they made the jump up to Division I, finished 13-36 on the year, 8-16 in the A-Sun. This year they come in with a record of 10-35. So Coach Owens has had a lot of success there, and have to feel like the future's bright for the Knights here. So the Mound Conference is over. Braunecher's going to stay out there, and Ethan Stamps will stand in. Runner second and third, 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning. Again, the infield's going to stay about halfway. The first baseman, Crane, way off the line, swung over towards the gap between first and second. So if Stamps were able to guide a ball down the first base line, everybody would run for a while. And he hits it on the ground right to the second baseman's sore. He's going to flip to first, but that'll be an RBI, as Maxwell will jog home with the 7th run of the day for the Bisons. So good piece of hitting there. Stamps did just what you want him to do, drive the run home. Second out of the inning, but the Bisons will score their 7th run, and it's now 7-3 Lipscomb. Will Hoyt advanced over to third on the play, and Chaz Bertolani will stand in with 2 outs and a runner at third. Chaz grounded out to short in his first at bat in the second. Comes in batting .208 on the season, 1 home run and 11 RBIs, and Braunecker will continue to work from the stretch here. That's that outside fastball. Good location, and it's 0-1 on Bertolani. Again, Williams started off the inning with a solo home run. Rudy Maxwell doubled. A walk to Trace Wilhoit. McMillan struck out, and Stamps grounded out after a wild pitch advanced the runners. And so 2 runs in the inning, as the Bisons respond after Bellarmine put up 3 in the top of this inning. That fastball is going to run away, and it'll be a ball and a strike on Bertolani. So nice bounce back from the Bisons here.
And we've seen a different pace of play here towards the second half of this half inning. Braunecker has really slowed it down, and then the mound meetings have aided in that as well. Yeah,
it feels like this inning's lasted about an hour so far. So here comes the 1-1 pitch, hit high in the air toward the right side. The center fielder Ackerman's coming over. He's going to get called off by Mulkey, and he'll catch it out there in medium depth right field. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bisons will strand a runner. That's the second one they've stranded, but it's a productive inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the 1 man left on base. And we've played 3 innings in your new score. Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 3. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. It's hard to say. They're not playing in as good a conference, but they played well. We had to the top half of the 4th inning. Ike Buxton back out on the mound for the Bisons. He's gone all the way, and he will be facing 7, 8, 9 for the Bellarmine Knights, Ackerman, English, and Sorg. As Lipscomb leading this one 7-3. Lipscomb 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Bellarmine 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. They got those 3 runs in the last inning where they sent 9 men to the plate. Again, Lipscomb was victimized a little bit by the walk and hit by pitch there, so.
And it was a night and day difference almost between the first 2 innings for Mike Buxton and the 3rd inning. You had 2 1-2-3 innings and then allowed all 9 batters, as he does start off with a strike here in the top of the 4th.
It almost looked like a changeup that he brought to Ackerman, so he got it in there for a strike, got ahead, 0-1. Threw an off-speed pitch there, and it missed outside. It'll be a ball and a strike. We'll kind of get you caught up on the scoreboard this half inning, as we'll have scores from area teams and also the ASUN Conference. Everybody in action on this Mother's Day, and the 1-1 is going to be flared over the shortstop, and that's going to be a base hit into left field. And that will be the 5th hit of the day for the Bellarmine Knights. Nice piece of hitting there of Ackerman. Went with that fastball and just guided it out into left field. So he's aboard, and that'll be the 2nd inning in a row. The Knights have the leadoff hitter on board, and that'll bring up Ethan English. He popped out into foul territory in his first at-bat today. That's his first at-bat of the weekend, and only his 12th of the season, as we mentioned. And that looked like a slider that caught the outside part of the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Good pitch there from Buxton to start things off. So as we look at the scoreboard, Jacksonville State is leading Eastern Kentucky today 8-5. Trying to salvage 1 out of that series, and he swings through that one, and it's 0-2. So 8-5, that's in the bottom of the 5th inning as those two teams play. On the other side of the division, Liberty is leading Jacksonville 2-1, the top of the 9th inning. Stetson and North Florida are tied at 4 in the 7th inning. Slider misses way outside there. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes to English. Florida Gulf Coast and Kennesaw State are tied at 6-6, and Central Arkansas is leading North Alabama 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So there's your ASUN Conference scoreboard. Keep an eye on those through the course of the day. Fastball misses outside, 2-2. Some scores from some other area teams. Middle Tennessee leading Florida International 11-5 in the bottom of the 9th. Belmont leading Tennessee Martin 6-3 in the top of the 4th, trying to sweep that weekend series. That's hit high in the air, but on the infield. Shortstop Ketchup is drifting behind second base, looks up in the sunshine, and they will retire English for the 2nd out of the inning, or the 1st out of the inning, correction. That'll bring up Casey Sorg. Sorg had a solid base hit to left field in his first at bat today, so he's 1 for 1. Advanced to second on a wild pitch and wound up coming around and scoring on the base hit by Jacob Mulkey. So 1 for 1 with a run scored for Casey Sorg, batting with 1 out and a runner at first. And he pulled the string on him there. That was the changeup, and he didn't get it. 0-1. Ackerman at first, second on the team in stolen bases, as we mentioned. He's 10 for 12 on the season. Doesn't show much of a lead over there. Actually, now he's going to extend it a little bit. That was a fastball that got away outside, low and away. Good play there by Bertolani. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sorg, top of the order, and Matt Higgins is on deck. Here comes the 1-1. It's an off-speed pitch that's going to miss inside. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Buxton currently working at 57 pitches as we play here in the 4th inning. No activity down in the Bison's bullpen as of yet. So 2 balls, 1 strike as Buxton gets set to pitch to Sorg, and he'll miss inside with a breaking ball there, and it'll be 3-1. I think he'd probably get a fastball here, and that's what we've seen in most of these counts so far. But 3-1 pitch, it is indeed a fastball, and it misses inside and low, and that'll be ball 4. So that'll be the 2nd walk of the day for Buxton. He walked 1 in the 3rd inning rather, and that run did come around to score. That'll put runners at 1st and 2nd now with 1 out, and turn us back to the top of the order. And Matt Higgins struck out in the 1st and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. As we've already told you, though, he's the top hitter on this team. Came in batting .369, 19 homers and 55 RBIs on the season. His average is now .367, but we've got a mound visit as Chaz Bertolani is going to go out and talk to his right-hander Ike Buxton. And while he does, we'll remind you that the next action for the Bisons will be coming up on Tuesday when they'll have the second installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. They'll go over and play at Belmont. That game is scheduled for a 5 p.m. Central Time start, Tuesday, May the 10th. Then the Bisons hit the road for 3 games next weekend at Eastern Kentucky. As we mentioned, those will be key conference matchups, 6 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. Saturday, and 1 p.m. Sunday for that 3-game series at Eastern Kentucky. He starts Higgins off with a fastball that will miss low, and it'll be 1 ball and no strikes.
And after starting off this inning, he had a couple quick strikes, and it seems like Ike Buxton had kind of regained control. Now, with only 1 out in the inning, you have 2 runners on, and one of them is via the walk, and that was so crucial in the 3rd inning to their success.
Yep, Coach Matt Myers is going to come out to the mound and chat with Buxton, and while he does, that'll give us a chance to update you the rest of the Bison schedule. So we mentioned the Battle of the Boulevard on Tuesday at Belmont. Belmont's been playing really well this season, so that'll be another good ball game. The Bruins defeated the Bisons back on March the 2nd, way back on March the 2nd, a 5-1 game here at Dugan Field. So be at Rose Park on Tuesday night, at Eastern Kentucky on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then no midweek game the following week. The Bisons will finish up with a 3-game series here against North Alabama. That's May 19th, 20th, and 21st. 6 p.m. on Thursday, 6 p.m. on Friday, and 1 p.m. on Saturday the 21st, the last home game of the season for Lipscomb. And then hopefully they'll be advancing to that ASUN tournament, as we mentioned. Got to get in the top 3 or either the next 2 highest RPI to advance, so not a guarantee this year. The count's 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Higgins. Runners at first and second, 1 out. We're in the top of the 4th, and Lipscomb is leading 7-3. And that's a good pitch there. A fastball low and inside at the knees, and Higgins took it. Might have been taking all the way there since Buxton had been struggling with the strike zone a little bit, but the count now is 2-1. Ackerman, your runner at second. Sorg, your runner at first. And that's going to be a base hit into right field. That's going to get down past Shields and it's going to go to the wall. Ackerman actually held up to see if it was going to be caught, and as a result, he's only going to get to third base. So a break for the Bisons there. I don't think Ackerman had a good read on that ball. He held up to see if it would be caught, and he wound up getting only to third base. He almost got caught by Sorg, who was running behind him, who will stop at second. And so Higgins with a base hit there that really probably should have driven in a run, but did not. It's the second hit of the inning for the Knights of Bellarmine, and they've got the bases juiced again for the second inning in a row, and Ashton Smith comes up. Came up with the bases loaded in the last inning and struck out swinging. He's also grounded out. Buxton starts him off with a fastball that he's going to tap foul. It'll be no balls and 1 strike. So you can see why Higgins is such a good hitter. He just has a great approach at the plate, really sat there, found that 2-1 fastball and drove it out into right field. Probably should have had himself an RBI, as we mentioned. But 6 hits on the day now for the Knights, 8 hits for the Bisons. And again, Bellarmine really threatening here in this 4th inning with the bases loaded. Pulled the string on him there, nothing in 2. Really good pitch from Buxton.
Buxton has been the Bison's Sunday starter for 12 weeks now. But I think the thing that's most impressive about him, we were super impressed with him in the 1st and 2nd inning because of how he was getting ahead. I have been impressed all season with how Ike Buxton has fought back through adversity, and so here's another big test for him to see if he's able to continue that this afternoon.
Yeah, good point, Erica. That one missed off the plate. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Buxton, really a mature young guy. He doesn't get super high, super low out on the mound. You just see him with a steady approach, and he's able to fight through some of these tough situations, so it's an excellent point. It's a ball and 2 strikes, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. Ackerman's going to come around to score. They are going to hold up Sorg there, and that'll be an RBI base hit for Ashton Smith. So good piece of hitting there. He's going to have an RBI. Higgins will go down to second. Again, Sorg was held up at third, and I think it would have been a bang-bang play, but they've got McMillan in right field today, and they probably haven't seen his arm, and so they showed some respect for the arm there. And that's 3 hits in the inning and 1 run home, and now our score is 7-4, Lipscomb over Bellarmine.
The base running has been a little bit interesting to me. I felt as if you mentioned it, they could have scored a run on Matt Higgins' hit
Yeah,
And it
conservative
almost
hold there, yeah.
was a little bit problematic for them because there seemed to be some miscommunication between who was wanting to advance further and who was trying to hold up. And so it almost felt like dominoes that they were all going to fall over. But they were able to get back on base, and even though they didn't get a run, they didn't get an out either.
Base is still loaded, 1 out, and that one's going to miss low with a breaking ball. That'll leave the count at a ball and a strike. This is Jacob Mulkey. He's singled and driven in a run and also struck out, 1 for 2 on the day. And once again, the Knights are threatening here in the 4th inning. They got the bases loaded and 1 out. And that's going to be hit to Ketchup at short. Turns to second for 1, throw to first. Double play, terrific play there. That one was almost headed into left field, which would have scored 1 easily, maybe a second run. Ketchup cuts it off, flips to second. Stamps is able to turn it around, and wow, that was a bullet dodge there for the Bisons as Ketchup, another terrific play as he starts that double play and is able to turn 2 and get the Bisons out of that inning. But it's still a productive inning for the Bellarmine Knights. They score 1 run. They have 3 hits. They'll leave 1 runner on base. They've stranded 4 now through the first 4 innings. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th, we've got a new score. It's Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Right. To the bottom of the 4th inning we go. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 7-4. Back out on the mound for the Knights of Bellarmine is Gavin Broniker. He's gone all the way. He's given up 8 hits and 7 runs, 7 of which are earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 57 pitches, and he'll face the top of the Bison's lineup with Caleb Ketchup, Maddox Houghton, and Mason Lundgren. Mr. Ketchup is having himself an outstanding day. 2 for 2 at the plate, and he's made 3 highlight reel plays already at that shortstop position, one of which ended the thread in the top of the 4th as he went way in the hole to get a ball and start a double play, and he hammers that one foul. No balls and 1 strike. And Erica, you and I were talking off air. Ketchup, you can just see his defense improving throughout the season, his confidence growing both at the plate and in the field. He's really, as you mentioned, done a lot to save some big innings for the Bisons out there at shortstop.
Caleb isn't the tallest player on the Bison's field, but he feels like the largest player out there because he covers so much area with that speed.
Yeah.
And he's so smart with the ball. He's got great hand-eye coordination and just continues to impress me with every game that he plays.
Yeah, good hands and good feet, as all good defenders have, and he really understands the game and positioning. So it's a count. There's a ball and a strike on Ketchup, and that's a breaking ball that'll bounce, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Ketchup now batting .275 on the season. His average has just risen and risen and risen. He also has 5 home runs and 18 RBIs. Importantly for the Bisons, he scored 39 runs on the season. That's a breaking ball that'll catch the inside corner, and it'll make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ketchup in his first year in the program. He's a redshirt freshman, transfer from University of Georgia, 5'10", 160 pounds. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. Very welcome addition to this Bison's program. That's hammered on the ground to third. Back is going to field it. He's going to throw to first, and for the first time today, they're going to retire Caleb Ketchup and keep him off the base paths, which is, I'm sure, a sigh of relief for the Knights. Maddox Houghton will come up there. The Ken Dugan Award winner from Friday night has a sacrifice bunt and a walk, so no official at-bats today. Maddox batting .309 on his senior campaign, 4 home runs and 23 RBIs. As we mentioned, won the Ken Dugan Award, also graduated yesterday with a graduate degree, a 4.0 grade average, and was honored as one of the folks leaving the program. So just been an outstanding run of baseball here, and it's a pleasure to watch this young man. Not only is he a great player, but he is one of the finest people you'll ever want to be around. Always has a smile on his face, and is simply one of the most polite, thoughtful, and dependable leaders around on the team. He takes a fastball in the outside corner, no balls, one strike. That's a breaking ball that'll miss inside, a ball and a strike.
You mentioned him being a unanimous decision from the coaches for the Ken Dugan Award. Not only would the coaches give him a unanimous decision, but I feel very confident that the students on campus, as well as his teammates, would if they had any say in the award. He's just someone who really embodies Lipscomb and the kind of character that they're trying to develop here, and just a fitting award for him to win, and congratulations to him and on the degree as well.
Very happy for Maddox Houghton and his family. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. I believe his younger brother is committed to come here as a pitcher next year, so we'll continue to see someone named Houghton in a Lipscomb uniform, which will ease perhaps somewhat the sting of not seeing him in center field. I said on the broadcast yesterday, we've looked at him in center field for so long, it's going to seem very strange not to see him out there. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and he's going to swing through that one for strike 3. Good pitch there from Broniker as he'll get Maddox Houghton swinging on strikes.
And with as many transfers as you see in baseball, those players like the Maddox Houghtons, or last year it was Haddon Adams and Chris Bashler, who have been around here so long, it definitely, you feel like you're losing a close friend when they're no longer out there on the field. So congratulations to him, and
great things ahead for that young man, no doubt. 4 strikeouts on the day for Broniker, and Mason Lundgren is going to hit the first pitch on the ground to second base, and that's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Broniker. That's the first 1-2-3 inning of the day, and we've got 4 innings in the books. Your score, Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. To the 5th inning we go. Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 7-4 on this beautiful Mother's Day. We're at Ken Dugan Field on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. We're glad you're with us. Again, if you're in the area, come on out. I have a sneaking suspicion you could probably get in even without a ticket at this point, but love to see you at the ballpark, and we've got a good crowd on hand for Mother's Day, and Ike Buxton is back out there trying to give his mom a treat with a victory on Mother's Day, and he starts off Davis Crane with a breaking ball for a strike. Crane's had a solid day so far. He's got 2 RBIs on a single and also grounded out, so 1 for 2. Did hit a home run on Friday night as well. Tries to come inside with a fastball and will miss high and in. Buxton, 4 innings of work so far. 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and he's thrown 73 pitches. He's working quickly here in the 5th, and he checked his swing. Did he go? Third base umpire Creel Waddell is going to say he did not, so that'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. It's Crane, Melbauer, and back here in the top of the 5th. That's 4, 5, and 6 for the Knights, and that's a fastball in the outside corner, and that's a really good pitch there. It was a fastball low and away. Great spot. Crane let it go by, and now Buxton has fought back to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is downstairs with a fastball there, 3-2. Again, we've seen a little bit of stirring down in the Lipscomb bullpen. I don't see anyone throwing at the moment, but I know there is someone warming up. We can't see our number from our vantage point, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. Crane sat on that fastball, and he lines it out into right field. And that'll be the 8th hit of the day for the Bellarmine Knights.
And the third inning in a row that they have the leadoff man on.
Yeah, that's got to make Coach Owens happy. Is a nice bounce back. Again, they only had 6 hits in Friday night's game and in Saturday's game, so a better offensive showing today for the Knights. And maybe they like playing in the daytime. You know, they didn't seem to enjoy those first 2 night games. And Clayton Melbauer is going to stand in. He's 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out on the day. That's a breaking ball, stays inside for ball 1.
You have to think that the not ideal weather definitely played into it some. There was rain and I mean, I wouldn't call it cold. It's not freezing temperatures, but it definitely wasn't the warm
Unseasonably
weather
cold.
that we're
Yeah, we'll
used
call
to.
it that. Yeah, colder than what we expect. That's hit on the ground into left field, and that's going to be a base hit. That was a fastball up in his eyes, and he swung and drove that into left field. And so that's back-to-back hits now to start off the 5th inning. And once again, the Knights are threatening. So tip your cap to Bellarmine. They continue to fight in this one. The Bisons put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 1st inning. And then Bellarmine jumped back and put 3 on in the top of the 3rd. The Bisons answered with 2 more in the bottom of the 3rd. 1 run for the Knights in the 4th, and that's how we are at 7-4 now. But Bellarmine's now actually out hit Lipscomb 9-8. Showing bunt is Peyton back, and he takes a fastball low and away, 1-0. So Crane, your runner at second. Melbauer, your runner at first, and Peyton back is grounded out twice, once to short and once to third. See the Bisons using that card that they use as they flash signals in from the dugout with the runner at second to both pitcher and catcher. Shows bunt again, offers at it. I think he didn't get it. Yeah, that's going to be a strike there. He went after that one that was on the outside part of the plate, but didn't connect. And so the count will be a ball and a strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Lipscomb leading 7-4. Buxton now at 81 pitches on the day. Still shows bunt and didn't get the call there. I got to scratch my head a little on that one. I thought that caught the outside corner, but home plate umpire Eric Gaucher did not agree with my interpretation, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And back has showed butt on all 3 of the first 3 pitches. We'll see if he continues to here. He does, and he bunts it, and it's a foul ball on to the third base side. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now. You'd think that would eliminate the bunt from the situation. Ackerman waits on deck. Again, back-to-back singles off the bat of Crane and Melbauer here in the 5th inning.
You have to think that if back reaches, we might be looking towards the Bison's bullpen here in a second.
Swung on and fouled back. That's 2 balls, 2 strikes. That looked like a fastball low and in, and so he's been working the inside part of the plate here all day to these hitters. We talked about that strategy as something the Bisons have used throughout the weekend. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runners first and second for Bellarmine here in the top of the 5th inning. And he swings and hits this in the air to center field. Lazy fly ball that Maddox Houghton's going to drift over. And it's going to be shallow enough that the runners cannot tag. He'll go ahead and make the throw in anyway. And so first out of the inning there, recorded by Ike Buxton. Jack Ackerman will come up. Ackerman has singled and scored a run and walked and scored a run. So on base twice and scored 2 times.
And they're going to make the bullpen call now. Coach Forehand walks out.
Yep, that'll end the day for Ike Buxton. So we'll step aside while we make this change. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. Once again, top of the 5th inning, Lipscomb leading Bellarmine 7-4. And you're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Bison's pitcher is senior left-hander Noah Thompson, 6 foot tall, 209-pounder out of Louisville, Kentucky. Thompson comes on and is making his 15th appearance on the season. He's made 2 starts. He's worked a total of 33 innings, given up 33 hits, 20 runs, 17 earned, 16 walks, 36 strikeouts. Opponent's batting .273 against him, and he's got a record of 3 wins, 1 loss, and an ERA of 4.64. So Noah Thompson will relieve Ike Buxton here. Noah, one of 6 Bisons who received their degree yesterday. He graduated with a degree in engineering. The other Bisons graduating yesterday, Chaz Bertolani, Jackson Forrester, Tyler Sills, Ike Buxton, and Malik Williams. So both pitchers that we've seen today were granted their degrees yesterday, and Thompson is going to be called upon now to try to succeed at a different endeavor, and that's keeping this game right where it is. So the situation is runners first and second with 1 out and Jack Ackerman at the plate. And he starts him off with a fastball that'll miss outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So again, to recap the inning, back-to-back singles from Crane and Melbauer, and then back flew out for the first out of the inning, and so Ackerman stands in there. Lefty on lefty matchup here. And that curveball is going to bounce up there. Nice stop by Bertolani to keep it in front of him. 2 balls and no strikes. So Noah Thompson, 4th year playing here. He redshirted in the 2020 year due to injury. Back in 2018, he was on the ASUN all-freshman team. He had the best ERA of any freshman in the conference. Sat out that 2020 season due to injury. And working here now in a tight spot for the Bisons, and that's hit foul and out of play back behind us. So 2 balls and 1 strike will be the count on Ackerman. Longest stint of the season, 4 1/3 innings against Central Arkansas back on March 26 for Noah Thompson. He also worked 4 innings on February 18th against Akron. Both of those in relief, and that's hit high in the air to right field. McMillan's got a beat on it, and he's going to glove it, and the runners will not be able to advance. And so second out of the inning is a big one for the Bisons as Ackerman flies out to right field. So that'll bring up Ethan English, the designated hitter. 0 for 2 on the day. He's popped out into foul territory on the first base side and then popped out into shallow outfield. It was gloved by shortstop Caleb Ketchup. So 0 for 2 on the day for English. Again, just his 14th at bat on the entire season here, and he's going to be called upon to try to extend this inning for the Knights. Promising inning was they got the first 2 runners on, but back-to-back fly ball outs, and 2 are out now. As Noah Thompson will try to keep this one right here. That's a curveball that didn't bite, stayed high. A ball and no strikes to English. We mentioned those graduates yesterday. We also had senior day festivities before the game last night. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. First, the 1-0 pitch from Thompson. Got him to swing through the changeup. Beautiful pitch there, 1-1. Senior Day recognizes here at the ball field those players who've exhausted their eligibility and will be moving on. And so presented yesterday before the game were Jackson Forrester, Rudy Maxwell, Maddox Houghton, John Cheatwood, Dylan Bierman, and Malik Williams. So congrats to all those young men who earned their degrees or were celebrated on Senior Day. Lions shot down to third. Will Hoyt's going to glove it and step on the bag. And so the Bisons dodged the bullet there as Noah Thompson comes on and gets 2 outs and strands 2 runners. That's 6 total stranded by the Knights today. And we're going to head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Your score, Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. To the bottom half of the fifth inning we go. Lipscomb 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Bellarmine 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And Gavin Bronecker back out there. He's gone the whole way for the Knights. He's given up 8 hits and 7 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 66 pitches here as we play in the bottom of the fifth. And Malik Williams will start things off for the Bisons. He takes a breaking ball downstairs, did not offer at it, ball 1. Malik has had himself a day. RBI single in the first and a solo home run in the third. So 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs and a couple of runs scored for the senior first baseman from Toronto, Canada. Also graduating this weekend, as we mentioned. And I know his family was in town and quite proud of that accomplishment. He takes downstairs and it's a strike for 1 ball, 1 strike count. Leak's had himself a fine season. Again, batting .372, leading the team in RBIs as well with 52. Second on the team in home runs with 10. And that's going to be a called strike on the breaking ball again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So as he has seen all weekend, a steady diet of breaking balls to Malik Williams. And it's a ball and 2 strikes now with Gavin Bronecker trying to hold it right here as the Knights have fought back and kept this one close. And Williams hits that a mile high in the air over to the left side. Looks like the shortstop Melbauer is going to call it. It's still coming down, and he gloves it for the first out of the inning. So that one was hit a mile high. But it'll be the first out of the inning as Williams is retired. And Rudy Maxwell also having himself a day. He had a 3-run home run back in the first, and he doubled in the third. So he's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs and scored a couple of runs. Rudy's mom is at the ballpark today too and is enjoying watching him play. As we mentioned, he's a local youngster from here in Nashville. He went to Innsworth High School, played at Duke for 4 years, and transferred here as a graduate student this year. And he hits that one on the ground to third. Back is going to glove it, and he'll throw on to first. And just like that, 2 quick outs for Bronecker here in the fifth inning. He did have a 1-2-3 inning last inning as well, and so he seems to be settling a little more into a rhythm here after struggling mightily. Gave up 5 in the first. Gave up 2 more in the third, but he had 1-2-3 inning in the fourth, and he's got 2 quick outs here in the fifth. Trace Wilhoit will come to the plate. He has hit a solo home run and also walked on the day. And wouldn't be surprised to see him take a pitch here, Erica, just to make sure that this inning doesn't go too quickly. He does, and it is a strike.
I appreciate the decision by the coaching staff of Bellarmine to keep Bronecker in this game, really just give him that chance to get back into that rhythm, and he's done so beautifully. If you get rid of that first inning, Bellarmine has the lead in this game.
Yeah, they've made a nice bounce back, and that's another strike, and so he's ahead of Wilhoit, 0-2, and Bronecker does seem to be finding a rhythm and throwing better as the game goes on here. He's been able to locate that fastball and throw his breaking ball effectively as well, and that's a fastball that'll stay high and away. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Trace Wilhoit. Cam McMillan waits on deck if Wilhoit can extend the inning here, as the Bison's trying to avoid going down 1-2-3 for the second inning in a row. They've been out hit 9-8 by Bellarmine, and that's going to be strike 3 right there. Fastball in the inside corner, and he watches that for the called third strike. So it is indeed a 1-2-3 inning for Bronecker, and I've got him now with 5 strikeouts on the day. So we've got 5 innings in the books. We'll head to the 6th inning. And your score, Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. To the sixth inning we go. Noah Thompson back on the mound for the Bisons. He came in and got 2 big outs with 2 on in the 5th inning. And he's on in relief of Ike Buxton. He's going to be facing 9-1-2 for Bellarmine with Sorg, Higgins, and Smith. Our score is 7-4. Lipscomb has led this one all the way, but Bellarmine keeps fighting its way back. And here to tell you about it with a play-by-play in the 6th inning is brand new Lipscomb grad, honors graduate with a degree in engineering, Erica Plunkett. Erica?
Thanks, Doc Allen. Sorg has reached both times that he has been at the plate this afternoon, but those were both against Buxton as Noah Thompson gets that first pitch against Sorg in for a strike. Sorg had a run and a single in the 3rd and then was walked in the 4th. And now is behind in the count to Noah Thompson, 0-2. Thompson, who came in relief in the 5th inning, was able to get the Bisons out of a jam and keep that 3-run lead for Lipscomb as Sorg hits that ball. Trace Billhoit comes over and gets the first out of the inning, throwing over to Malik Williams. So a ground out to start the inning for Noah Thompson. Bellarmine getting a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 6th. Lipscomb, or the bottom of the 5th. Lipscomb hoping to answer here in the top of the 6th. And now batting for Bellarmine, the heart of their offense, Matt Higgins. Matt Higgins struck out in the 1st, was hit by the pitch in the 3rd, and scored a run off of that as he hits that ball past the foul line on the right side. And then he singled in the 4th. This is also his first time facing Thompson, and now is behind in the count 0-1 to the left-hander Thompson. The 0-1 pitch is going to be inside for a strike. Noah Thompson on a little bit of a roll here to start off his 6th inning campaign. 0-2 the count to the left fielder from Thompson. No runners on. That ball is hit straight up in the air. Rudy Maxwell is going to be the one coming up under it in left field, and he gets that ball for out number 2. 2 quick outs for the Bisons here in inning number 6. Bisons holding on to that 3-run lead. The Bisons, really their day has been centered around that first inning, the 5 runs that they scored. Rudy Maxwell, who just got that catch in left field, a 3-run homer to get things underway for Lipscomb. And they were able to ride off of that. That ball by Ashton Smith is hit foul, but that will bounce out of play. Malik Williams went over to try to take care of that one, but that will be past the net and out into the stands. Luckily, it hits on the roof of the dugout and not at any seats. But now the count 0-1 off of that foul ball from Ashton Smith. Ashton Smith is 1 for 3 on the day. He had an RBI single in the 4th, but struck out and had a ground out in the 1st and 3rd. Thompson loses that pitch, so 1-1 the count to the catcher Smith. Here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning, Lipscomb leading 7-4 over Bellarmine. The 1-1 pitch from Thompson will be inside for strike number 2 against the catcher. Everyone playing pretty straight away as the 1-2 pitch comes from Thompson. That's going to be hit to Trace Wilhoit, who gets a handle on that one, takes his time, throws it over to Malik Williams for out number 3. A quick 1-2-3 inning behind pitcher Noah Thompson for the Bisons, and the Bisons hold on to a 7-4 lead here as we are halfway through the 6th inning. You're listening to Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube. We'll be back in just a moment.
We head to the home half of the 6th inning. Cam McMillan, Ethan Stamps, and Chaz Bertolani, 7, 8, and 9, scheduled for the Bisons against Gavin Braunecker, who's gone the whole distance for Bellarmine. He's worked 5 innings, given up 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 75 pitches. But the last 2 innings, he's retired the Bisons 1-2-3, and so he seems to be getting stronger as he goes along. But Bisons will try to stretch this lead. They're leading 7-4 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. And once again, here to tell you about it is Erica Plunkett.
Thanks, Doc Allen. Braunecker facing off against Cam McMillan, who has 2 of Braunecker's 5 strikeouts on the afternoon, but that ball will miss inside for ball number 1 against McMillan. McMillan has had a quiet day, really a quiet weekend. He was very successful against Bellarmine up in Louisville, but just hasn't been able to find that same success here today as he fouls that one back towards the dugout. Luckily, the Bison's player is able to jump out of the way, I believe. They did have to make some quick movements to get out of the way of that one. That one was hard hit from the right fielder for the Bisons, but the count now 1-1 to McMillan from Braunecker. That ball will miss outside. 2-1 the count. Everyone's playing it straight away for the Knights. We've seen a little bit of action in the Knights bullpen, but Braunecker has really done a phenomenal job of battling back after that 5-0 first inning. That ball from McMillan, though, is hit straight up in the air, and a fellow right fielder will take care of that. That will be Mulkey, who gets out number 1 for the Knights here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Cam McMillan is retired, and that brings up to the plate the second baseman, number 23, Ethan Stamps. Ethan Stamps they will credit him with a single in the first, but never actually spent any time on base because he tried to stretch that one to a double and was unsuccessful in that venture. So he was out there in the first, and then he had an RBI sacrifice hit in the third. That ball will be hit to the shortstop. Melbauer immediately gets it over to Crane for out number 2. 2 quick outs the Knights are answering with after the Bisons had their first 1-2-3 inning in a while to start off this top half of the inning.
Yeah, and I think he's going heavier to the breaking ball here, Erica, than what we saw before. Braunecker was throwing a lot of fastballs earlier, and the Bisons are really on it. And he's made some adjustments here, and doing a little bit more on that breaking pitch. And again, he's retired now 8 in a row from the 4th inning on.
And now Chaz Bertolani to the plate to face off against Braunecker. 0 for 2 on the day for Bertolani, who has had a fairly successful weekend up until today. Bertolani has been catching for the Bisons exclusively after Rudy Maxwell took a ball to the face a couple weeks ago. That ball outside from Braunecker, so 1-0 pitch coming in, and once again misses on that one. So 2-0 the count to Bertolani here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lipscomb holding a 7-4 lead over the Bellarmine Knights. Relies on more of those hits. And another miss outside. 3-0 the count to Bertolani. If he were able to reach, Caleb Ketchup be up to the plate. Ketchup 2 for 3 on the day with a run. 3-0 pitch is catcher Smith. And that will find its way in for a strike. Braunecker avoids the walk, at least for that pitch, and 3-1 the count now to the catcher Bertolani here with 2 outs. That pitch is well inside, and so Braunecker will walk Chaz Bertolani. Just his 3rd walk of the day. He walked Houghton in the 2nd and Trace Wilhoit in the 3rd. And so he will not get his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning with Bertolani now at first. Caleb Ketchup, like I mentioned, 2 for 3. Had a single and a run in the first, a single in the 2nd, and then grounded out in the 4th. Bertolani, not too much of a lead. We don't see him stealing bases very often. He's just 2 for 2 on the year. As that first pitch from Braunecker to Ketchup is outside for ball number 1.
And one thing to keep an eye on, Erica, Braunecker now up at 85 pitches. As I mentioned, he's gone in the 90s and has a season high of 103 that he threw way back in February. So he's probably got a few more in the tank.
And That ball from Ketchup will be hit straight up in the air, and it will be the shortstop Melbauer, actually called off by Ackerman, the center fielder. Ackerman records out number 3, so the Bisons leave a runner stranded but still hold on to a 3-run lead here after 6. We'll be back for the top of the 7th as you watch Lipscomb Bisons baseball on YouTube Live.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yep. To the top of the 7th inning we go. It will be 3, 4, and 5. Jacob Mulkey, Davis Crane, Clayton Melbauer to face Noah Thompson. Thompson's been terrific out of the bullpen for the Bisons. He's retired all 5 hitters that he's faced. Lipscomb leading 7-4, and here's Erica Plunkett.
Thanks, Doc Allen. Jacob Mulkey struck out in the first to Ike Buxton, had an RBI single in the third, grounded out in the fourth as that first pitch in from Noah Thompson is a strike. Noah Thompson has been incredible off the mound here in relief as that ball will be hit to Caleb Ketchup over to Malik Williams. Caleb Ketchup gets to make more of a routine defensive play. He's had to make a lot of very acrobatic plays to keep the Bisons out of trouble this afternoon, but that one pretty easily hit to him from Mulkey.
Yeah, he made a good read off the bat, though. He started first step in, then he saw that it was hit a little harder, and he takes a drop step back. So, again, just kind of that maturity of reading the hops. And one of the things that good fielders do, they make those plays look routine because they read those hops and really take the best hop.
Absolutely. Is now Davis Crane, the first baseman, comes up to the plate for the Knights, facing Thompson here. Thompson gets behind the count 1-0 to Crane. Make that 2-0 to the first baseman, who did have 2 RBIs off of a single in the third and singled again in the fifth. Now the 2-0 pitch from Crane. He's able to check his swing, so 3-0 the count. Thompson was off to a hot start there. 18 pitches and 14 of them had been strikes, but now 3 consecutive balls to Crane as he sneaks that one in for a strike. I think Crane thought for a sec that he might get ball number 4, but that one sneaks its way in. And now the 3-1 pitch from Thompson will be high, and that will be ball number 4. So the Knights will get a runner on. This will not be a 1-2-3 inning for the Bisons.
First walk issued by Noah Thompson, as you mentioned. He's not allowed a hit, doesn't have a strikeout, but 2 full innings of work so far, and Melbauer in there.
Melbauer 2 for 3 on the day, 2 singles in the third and the fifth, a strikeout in the second. Now batting with a runner on at first. And that ball will miss outside, or inside rather, for ball number 1 from Thompson.
Bellarmine out of the frying pan and into the fire. They head up for their midweek game to Tennessee. They'll play Tennessee at Tennessee on Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
And you know, after falling this weekend, getting their first series loss of the year, the Volunteers will be rearing to fight back into that one on Tuesday night at home.
Probably in somewhat of an inhospitable mood, you might think, for that visit. After that,
Absolutely.
Bellarmine goes back home next weekend, or correction, on the road again at North Alabama, and they'll finish up at home with Jacksonville State.
1-1 count to Thompson. Will make it 1-2. He gets that one in for a strike after Melbauer fouled off a ball a minute ago. The runner at first is Crane. Crane is, I do not expect to try to steal a base. He's 0 for 1 in stolen bases this year, and you've got a left-hander on the mound, so you can keep a good look at that one, as that one is hit deep by Melbauer, but coming under it is Cam McMillan, so McMillan will record out number 2 with a fly out. Crane will stay put at first, and coming up to the plate now will be the third baseman, number 20, Peyton Back. Peyton Back is 0 for 3 on the day. And here with 2 outs and a runner on, he's hoping to snap that streak on the season, batting .256. So mathematically, I guess he's due for a hit here against Thompson. First pitch from Thompson will be swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to the third baseman. Like Williams staying put right next to first, keeping an eye on a fellow first baseman, Davis Crane. The 0-1 pitch from Thompson will be low. 1-1 the count now to the third baseman. Back here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. Bellarmine has had several chances this afternoon, but the Bisons have been able to get out of a number of jams. That ball is going to be hit foul by Back. 1-2 the count. But the Knights have their 4 runs off of 9 hits. They do have 1 error on the afternoon. Meanwhile, the Bisons have 7 runs off of 8 hits and no errors.
Yeah, and the Knights have stranded 7 runners, Eric, and that's really the difference in the game. As you said, they've had some opportunities, haven't been able to get them across.
And that's what it comes down to, taking those opportunities, as that 1-2 pitch is hit up the middle and fumbled. They will say that he got him at second. That throw from Ethan Stamps to Caleb Ketchup was bobbled for a second, but able to be recovered to get Davis Crane at second for out number 3. That will end the top half of the 7th inning. We'll be back for more baseball here in a second on YouTube Live.
Umpire's been impressed by his plays all day. What's that? Yeah, exactly. He's earned it. That's right. That's exactly right. Seventh inning stretch is in the books. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. Maddox Houghton, Mason Lundgren, and Malik Williams will face Gavin Braunecker, who's getting stronger as he goes along. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th and the 5th. In the 6th, he allowed a single base runner on a base on balls, but he is now retired 9 of the last 10 hitters as the Bisons still lead this one 7-4. And here's Erica Plunkett.
Thanks, Doc Allen. Maddox Houghton up to bat. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 1st, was walked in the 2nd as he hits that one deep. It will be the center fielder Ackerman, though, coming underneath it to record out number 1. It took just 1 pitch to get that first out for Bellarmine.
Yeah, it looked like a breaking ball again. As we said, he's gone a little bit more breaking ball heavy here in these last couple of innings after relying a little bit more on the fastball earlier in the game. So he's been effective with that change.
He's done a great job of adjusting as he gets tired and as he's had to battle back through some adversity here. Now going up against Mason Lundgren. Mason Lundgren has only reached via the hit by pitch, but did get a run after that he was batted in on Rudy Maxwell's 3-run homer. That ball from Braunecker, though, is going to miss.
You might see the Bison's hitters start to change that approach, take a little pitch here and there, just trying to get his pitch count up and get him out of the game.
You have to think that that wouldn't be too far off as we're getting up into the 90s, almost 100. You said his season high was 103. So keeping an eye on that number. And Bellarmine hasn't had to go too deep in their bullpen. So they have some arms back there. The count now 1-1 to Lundgren here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bison's leading 7-4 over the Knights. But Braunecker sneaks that one in for a strike. 1-2 the count to the designated hitter Lundgren.
Yeah, really good spot for that fastball. He ran it in on the inside part of the plate and froze him with it. Good location for a strike 2 pitch.
1-2 pitch is going to be hit by Lundgren. Bounced off the glove of Braunecker, but the shortstop Melbauer comes over and gets that to Crane for out number 2. Great job by Melbauer by keeping his eye on the ball. It easily could have been a hit for Lundgren because of the way it bounced off of the glove, but great play by the Knights defense to record out number 2, and they're just 1 out away from their third 1-2-3 inning of the game.
Yep, really got to tip your cap to Braunecker. Hopefully he's okay. He's kind of grimacing for a moment. That ball flared off his glove, but got rocked by 5 runs in the first inning, but he's only allowed 2 since then, and he's kept his team in this game.
Now facing off against Malik Williams, who he hasn't had an answer for until the 5th inning. He got the first out against Malik. Malik started off his day with an RBI single and then was brought home by Rudy Maxwell, and then he had his own home run in the 3rd inning, a solo bomb from the first baseman from Toronto, Canada. And Braunecker misses on the first 2 strikes to Williams, so the count now 2-0 to Malik here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that ball from Malik Williams is hit high in the air all the way in right field. They're chasing it. It's well foul, but that was going to fall harmlessly into the Knights bullpen.
Yeah, a little bit of a different approach with Williams. Early in the game, some of his early at-bats, they were working him away with the fastball. Now you see him come in. He missed with those first 2, but just trying to back him off the plate a little bit there. So changing that approach, and then as we said, Malik has seen a lot of breaking balls, so a 2-ball, 1-strike count here, and wouldn't be surprised to see him go off speed again.
Great job, not only by Braunecker, but by the pitching coaches here for Bellarmine. But that ball will miss low. 3-1 the count to Malik Williams. Everyone playing pretty straight on for the first baseman. And the 3-1 pitch from Braunecker is going to be fouled back by Malik Williams. Williams does a good job of getting a bat on these balls and staying alive at the plate. Before the game, I was parked right behind the press box, and I realized that I probably should go move that car because it's right within what Malik Williams loves to hit. He loves to get that ball deep, and that ball is going to be hit deep by Williams, but it will be foul. The left fielder, Higgins, can't get to it, so it won't be an out, but Malik Williams stays
another
alive
off-speed
at the plate.
pitch that he turned on there, and so again, Williams, tough out with 2 strikes. When he uses the whole field, he can be a tough out with 2 strikes. We'll see how they elect to pitch him here. 3-2 and 2 outs, bases empty.
Full count payoff pitch coming from Braunecker, and Williams stays alive again. Another foul ball.
Yeah, that was that fastball running away from him. He just got a piece of it to spoil it. So good piece of hitting there. That's kind of one of the ones where if you try to pull that ball, you're going to swing through it and strike out. So that's kind of some of the maturity that Williams is now showing as a hitter.
We've seen him grow over the last 2-3 years as a Bison. And that ball, they're going to say that that's going to be ball number 4. The Knights had already started coming in thinking that he had swung at that one, but he was able to check his swing.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
think
the
he
trot down to
did. It looked like
first.
he held up. It was definitely a ball, and I think he held up. It's just he's such a powerful swing that when he starts that big body in motion, it looks like a lot more momentum. But I thought he held up on that. So he'll get the walk, and that will be the fourth walk of the day for Braunecker. So Bisons have a chance with 2 outs and Rudy Maxwell.
Bisons had a runner on with 2 outs in the last inning, the bottom of the 6th as well. Chaz Bertolani reached via the walk as well, and nothing was able to be accomplished with him. So we'll see if there's a different outcome here with Malik Williams. The swing and a miss from Rudy Maxwell brings the count to 0-1 here with 2 outs. Maxwell started off his day with a 3-run homer, doubled in the 3rd inning, but then hasn't reached since then, and now faces the 0-1 count from Braunecker. That ball low, 1-1. Williams, the runner at first. We rarely see Williams try to make a run for it, but he is 4 for 8 on the year.
Yeah, 2 off-speed pitches in a row. First one was a changeup, that looked like a curveball. So
That pitch high, 2-1 to Maxwell. Here with 2 outs. Braunecker trying not to lose control of his pitch. Here now deep in the 7th inning. And that pitch is going to be inside, so 3-1 the count to Rudy Maxwell.
yeah, really good pitch there. That was close. It was up under his hands. Maxwell kind of turned inside it, but that's a pitch that kind of a 50-50 ball. We've seen it called both ways today, and that time he didn't get the call for Braunecker until it's 3-1.
And Braunecker is over his season high for the year. That was pitch number 104. Or sorry, rather, that was pitch 103, so even with his season high. He's 103 pitches on the day, 60 of them strikes.
Yeah, I guess starting to see some activity. Somebody heating up down in the Bellarmine bullpen. Can't get a number on that, but definitely he's getting near the end of his rope here.
Here comes pitch 104, popped up in the air by Maxwell. And it will be the center fielder, Ackerman, who records out number 3. Braunecker once again strands a runner, but that might be the end of his day as he gets over 104 pitches for the Knights. Keeps them within striking range here as we head into the 8th inning. Lipscomb still leads, though, 7 runs, 8 hits, no errors over the Knights, 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error as you listen to Lipscomb Bison Baseball on YouTube Live. We'll be back in just a moment.
To the top of the 8th inning we go. Noah Thompson back on the mound for the Bisons. He's worked 2 2/3 innings and been terrific. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. He's thrown 32 pitches to get through 2 2/3 and has really done a bang-up job. Only 1 base runner that he's allowed in those 2 2/3, and that was the 1 walk. So he'll be facing 7, 8, 9. Ackerman, English, and Sorg are scheduled here for the Knights in the top half of the 8th inning. Our thanks to Erica Plunkett for 2 terrific innings of play-by-play. And we'll take this one home here as the Bisons try to get out of here with a series sweep. They're leading 7-4, and Thompson will start him off with an inside fastball that'll be ball 1. Ackerman has reached on a walk, singled and scored a run, and then flied out to right field. So 1 for 2 on the day with a couple of runs scored. Takes a breaking ball that doesn't bite, stays inside. 4 for 10 on the weekend. Probably had the best weekend offensively for the Knights. That's a fastball through there for a strike on the 2-0 pitch. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Bellarmine's out hit Lipscomb today 9-8, but the Bisons have benefited from a couple of long balls. And Bellarmine also stranded base runner, 7 total for the day. Hit up the middle. Ketchup was shading him that way. He's going to glove it and throw to first. That'll be the first down of the inning. Excellent positioning there. You look up and Ketchup just happens to be standing in the right place, and that's not an accident. That's the scouting report at work and the anticipation of Ketchup. So Ethan English is going to get a turn. He's had 3 at-bats today. Still looking for his first base hit. He's popped out twice and grounded out. Still looking for his first hit on the season, 0 for 14 in limited action. Thompson flips a curveball in there for a strike, 0-1. That's a curveball that's almost a lollipop. Comes in and probably in the 60 mile per hour, 65 mile per hour range, but it is really tough to lay off for a right-handed hitter. And he follows that up with a fastball and he swings through it, 0-2. So Noah Thompson can really be tough on these hitters with that fastball curve combination. Also throw a changeup, work to both sides of the plate. One of his best outings of the season here for the recent graduate, graduating yesterday in an engineering degree. That's a curveball that'll stay high. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes.
And as someone who just completed an engineering degree as well, it's always impressive to me how athletes are able to do that, because I know how many hours that I spend, doing homework and things like that. For him to be able to do that, as he does allow a hit here to
Ethan English hits that one all the way to the wall. Rudy Maxwell chases it, and English is going to pull into second. There's Ethan English's first base hit of 2022. First base hit allowed by Noah Thompson. It'll be the 10th hit of the day for Bellarmine, and he's in scoring position at second with 1 out. Casey Sorg is scheduled, and he will indeed come to the plate. Sorg singled and scored a run back in the 3rd inning and then walked and grounded out. And there is indeed a pinch runner. We'll see if we can get you a number on that. Looks like number 14, Dylan Byerly, 5'11" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. So Byerly will pinch run out there for English. It's a fastball back to the screen for strike 1. Some scurrying around and some activity in the Bison's bullpen. I can't tell at the moment who's actually throwing, but I see a couple of guys on the mound working around there. And that one's going to miss high, and the count will leave it at a ball and a strike. Again, if you're joined us late, Lipscomb jumped out 5 runs in the 1st inning. Bellarmine fought back 3 in the top of the 3rd. Bison's got 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. We've had only 1 run scored since then. It was the top of the 4th by the Knights. So we stand 7-4. Fastball misses away, 2-1. Lipscomb had won the first 2 games of the series. They won on Friday night 17-4 behind 4 home runs and 18 hits total. And they won Saturday's game 8-1 on 10 hits. So the Bison's trying to get a sweep and keep pace with Eastern Kentucky on the west side of the conference. That's a breaking ball that'll get called a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Buxton started today, went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Faced 24 batters and 87 pitches. And Noah Thompson has now worked a total of 3 innings. And that's hit in the air foul on the right side. I think that's going to make the stands, and it will indeed land back along the berm past the stands on the first base side. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes on Sorg.
Speaking of keeping pace with Eastern Kentucky, they just came back and won the game against Jacksonville State. So 11-10 win over Jacksonville State to give them an advantage in the ASUN West.
Yeah, big weekend series between those two as they sweep that one. That's hit on the ground to first base. Malik Williams is going to knock it down, but he's not going to be able to make a play. It was slicing away from him, and he kind of knocked it down and it went behind him. We'll see if they score that a base hit. I kind of suspect that they might. It was hit pretty hard down the line. And we'll await the official scoring ruling on that one. Good piece of hitting there by Sorg, who has a couple of hard hit balls on the day, and we'll see. Still waiting the decision on that one. That is indeed going to be a base hit for Casey Sorg, so that'll be his 2nd hit on the day. Pinch runner Byerly will get all the way around to 3rd base, and so
Now the tying run will be at the plate, and they're going to make that call to the bullpen.
Yep, 2 hits in the inning, and runners first and third rather, with 1 out. So we'll have a call to the bullpen. We'll step aside and tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. Once again, your score: Lipscomb 7 and Bellarmine 4, and you're watching Lipscomb Bison's baseball on YouTube Live. I guess it's 5-1 split pitch, so more sensible. But let's see. I don't think you've seen Maldo. I haven't seen what's his name, Patrick Williams. No, he's in the witness protection program. Haven't seen him in a while. No. The new Bison's pitcher is the sophomore left-hander Matthew Bonnert, 5'7", 180-pounder out of Cave Creek, Arizona. Bonnert is 2 wins, no losses on the season. He's pitched 33 innings, given up 11 hits, 9 runs, 9 earned, 24 walks against 53 strikeouts. So a record of 2 wins and no losses and an ERA of 2.45 for Matthew Bonnert. And he pitched in yesterday's game. He worked the 8th inning. Gave up 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts, ended up throwing 16 pitches, did not factor into the decision yesterday. So Bonnert out there for his second appearance for the weekend. We'll reset you. The situation is pinch runner Byerly is over at third. Casey Sorg is at first. There is 1 out in the inning as the leadoff man Jack Ackerman grounded out against Noah Thompson. So Matthew Bonnert trying to keep this one right here as Lipscomb leads 7-4 in the top of the 8th inning. And he throws a breaking ball that'll miss outside, ball 1. You've heard us tell you that Matt Higgins is the best hitter on the team. On the day, he's got 1 base hit. He's been hit by a pitch. He's struck out and flied out. So 1 for 3 officially, 369 on the season with 19 homers and 55 RBI. So a dangerous hitter, and left-on-left matchup here with Bonnert. That's a fastball in the outside corner that'll be strike 1.
55 RBIs for Higgins on the season,
yeah.
And that's exactly what the Knights need right now.
Yeah, he has been terrific for them all season long. He came in on a 17-game hitting streak that was snapped on Friday night as he went 0 for 3. But he is picking things back up since then, as we've seen him today. And that's going to be just off the plate. I was waiting to see if he might get the call. He didn't. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Defensively, Stamps pulled way over in the hole between first and second, so there's a big gap up the middle. Ketchup is shaded toward the bag, and Will Hoyt well off the line over at third. So outfield straight away, but an unusual defensive alignment here, and it's a 2-1 pitch due to Higgins, and that's a breaking ball that's not going to bite. It'll stay high, and it's 3-1. So Higgins up there with runners on the corners and 1 out. We're in the top of the 8th inning, and Lipscomb leading 7-4. Credit this Bellarmine team. They've been a scrappy opponent today. They've fought back despite getting down 5-0 in the first inning. And here comes the 3-1 pitch from Bonnert. And he swung through the fastball there, had a big whack at it, didn't get it, 3-2. I think he might have been looking for a different pitch, and he swung through the fastball there. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if they start the runner from first. That's Sorg. On the season, he's 2 for 2 in steal attempts, but long hole by Bonnert. He is not running, and that's going to be just off the plate. Boy, good spot, but he didn't get the call. And So that'll be a base on balls. And so Sorg will jog down to second and Higgins to first. And now the bases are loaded for Ashton Smith. He's 1 for 4 on the day. He has singled and driven in a run back in the fourth. He's also grounded out twice and struck out. So 1 for 4 on the day for Smith. 2 for 13 on the weekend. He is batting .327 on the season. He has 12 RBIs. He could add to that substantially with a base hit here. The bases are full of Knights. One out here as Matthew Bonner tries to get out of this jam for the Bisons. Big cut at that one. He didn't get it. 0-1.
The tying run is at first base, so a big opportunity here for Bellarmine with just 2 innings left to come back in this one.
Bonner faced Smith yesterday and got him to fly out to right field. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. Misses inside with that one. It'll be a ball and a strike. Again, Bonner working that 8th inning yesterday. He got a couple of strikeouts at the bottom of the order, and then Higgins got a base hit, and Smith flew out for the 3rd out of the inning. So those are the hitters that he faced yesterday. He faced 4. Didn't allow a run. And here comes the 1-1 pitch from Matthew Bonner. Breaking ball will again miss low. So Bonner not showing quite as much control as we usually see from him. He usually is able to flip that breaking ball in there along with having the fastball control. No place to put Smith. The bases are loaded. You've got the pinch runner Byerly at 3rd, Sorg at 2nd, and Higgins at 1st. And Higgins has excellent speed. He leads the team in stolen bases with 14. He won't be stealing here, but he's certainly someone who can run, and he's got a huge lead at first base, not being held on. And that's hit towards center field. It's going to hang up and drop, though, in front of Maddox Houghton. It's going to be batted around by Cam McMillan. He's going to throw towards 3rd, but 2 runs are going to score. And heading to 2nd and getting in there is Ashton Smith. And suddenly it's a 7-6 game as Bellarmine has plated 2 runs on that RBI single off the bat of Higgins. Or correction, Smith.
And suddenly you feel like this is a totally different game. And right now, Bonner isn't showing like he has control of his pitch right now.
Yeah, that was an excellent base running move there by Sorg. Byerly, the runner at 3rd, actually held up to see if the ball was caught because Houghton was coming in. He dove at it, didn't get it. But Sorg read the ball off the bat and never hesitated and came around to score. And it's 7-6, and runners are still at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And that's hit like a rope by Mulkey into the dugout, and it's no balls and 1 strike. So Higgins now running at 3rd. Smith all the way out at 2nd. 3 hits in the inning and 2 runs in the inning, and Bellarmine has fought back to make this one a 7-6 game. And breaking ball missing way outside again. Just don't see the control over the breaking stuff that we normally see from Bonner today. I believe he can close the books on Noah Thompson. He'll wind up going 3 innings, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts. So Thompson charged with 2 runs here. Guys on base are all the responsibility of Bonner at this point. They're 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and Mulkey trying to tie this one up or possibly put the Knights ahead with a base hit. And he does hit it back up the middle, and that's going to go into center field. They're going to wave both runners around. The throw's going to come and be cut off, and just like that, Bellarmine has clawed back and now leads 8-7. Good piece of hitting there by Mulkey.
Is able to hold on to this lead that they now have 8-7. It would be their first game on the season. They are 0 for 28 when trailing after 6.
Good piece of hitting there by Mulkey. You got to tip your hat to him. Didn't try to do too much, guided it up the middle. Both runners were moving, and so Bellarmine has scored 4 times in the inning, and they lead 8-7. And they've still got 1 out, and Davis Crane at bat. Crane has singled twice. He's walked and grounded out. And again, breaking ball misses outside from Bonner. Mulkey only 3 steals on the season, and you wouldn't expect him to be going. Big shift on here for the left-handed swinging Crane as Stamps pulled way over into the hole. Shading up the middle is Ketchup. And he fouls this one off to the left side. Will Hoyt giving chase in foul ground. Will he have enough room? He does. He's able to make the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So that's a big 2nd out for the Bisons. Is Crane a dangerous hitter at the plate? He's retired on the pop-up. That'll bring up Clayton Melbauer. Melbauer has singled twice today. He's also flied out and struck out, so he is 2 for 4 on the day. Batting .242 on the season, and he'll hit now with a runner at first and 2 outs. And Bellarmine has taken an 8-7 lead here in the 8th inning. Fouls that one back to the screen. It was a fastball, 0-1. Inning started with a ground out off of Ackerman's bat and then a double off the bat of English. Byerly pinch ran for him. Sarg followed up with a base hit. Noah Thompson was relieved by Matthew Bonnard, who walked a man that was Higgins, gave up a base hit to Smith and a base hit to Mulkey. Just got Crane to pop out, and so 2 outs now and an 0-1 count on Clayton Melbauer. Fastball misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still seeing a little bit of activity down in the Bison's bullpen. Again, can't tell from our vantage point who's throwing, but we'll keep an eye on that for you. Bonnard did throw yesterday, as we mentioned, 16 pitches. He's thrown 15 here today.
I think I might be seeing a couple pitches thrown by, I think that might be Maldonado.
That one's fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Melbauer, so he's got a chance to get out of it here. Big inning for the Knights. If they've put up 4 runs, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Mulkey running at first. He's running on the pitch, swings and fouls it out of play to the right side. That was a fastball that he went with and hit foul, so it'll stay a ball and 2 strikes. Again, credit this Bellarmine Knights team. They put up 3 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and now 4 here in the 8th. And after a tough weekend offensively with only 6 hits on Friday and 6 hits on Saturday, they have come back today and worked to extend this game and get a good at-bats and push themselves ahead. And that's a breaking ball that's going to stay high, and that'll make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, we're just not seeing the bite off the breaking pitch that we usually see from Matthew Bonnard. He's on in relief here of Noah Thompson. Ike Buxton started and went 4+ innings. Comes the 2-2 pitch to Melbauer from Bonnard. He swings again and hits it high and foul. It's going to be off the right side, and that's going to get out of play behind the dugout for Bellarmine. So we'll do it all again at 2-2. Dunkelberger on Friday night. Yesterday they used 4 pitchers. Witzke for 5 innings, Legier for 2, Bonnard for 1, Nordman for 1. So fairly rested bullpen. There are a lot of arms down there that could be turned to. But we await a 2-2 pitch to Clayton Melbauer from Matthew Bonnard. And he swings through the fastball there and gets strike 3. So they'll wind up stranding 1 runner, but it's a very productive inning for the Knights. 4 runs, 4 hits. There was 1 Lipscomb error, I believe. Nope, correction, no errors on the inning. They did leave 1 runner on base. For the day, they've now stranded 8 runners, but we've got a brand new ball game as we head to the 8th inning. Your new score is Bellarmine 8 and Lipscomb 7. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Lipscomb Bisons find themselves trailing for the first time all weekend. Bellarmine has put up 4 runs in the top of the 8th to take an 8-7 lead. And we've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Knights. He is the senior left-hander Nick Parrish, 6'2", 185-pounder out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's on for his 16th appearance on the season. They've all been in relief. He's got 2 saves, 22 1/3 innings worked. He's given up 26 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned, 15 strikeouts against 10 walks. Opponents batting .289 against him. Season record of 1 win and no loss and a 3.63 ERA for Nick Parrish, who's going to be facing 6, 7, and 8 for the Bisons, scheduled Will Hoyt, Macmillan, and Stamps. Again, Bellarmine out hit Lipscomb now 13-8 on the day, and Lipscomb trailing for the first time all weekend. So they'll try to fight back here with Will Hoyt starting things off. Watches the breaking ball stay outside for ball 1. Will Hoyt had a solo home run back in the first inning. He walked in the 3rd and struck out looking in the 5th. So 1 for 2 officially on the day is Trace Will Hoyt. And that's hit high in the air out into right field. Mulkey's going to camp out under it, and he's going to glove it for the first out of the inning.
And as this game stands, Bellarmine they're not quite eliminated from ASUN competition postseason, but they're right there on the brink. They've pretty much got to win out if they want a shot at making it to the ASUN tournament. Meanwhile, for Lipscomb, a loss here would put them in 3rd place in the ASUN West rather than being tied for 2nd. They would still be a game ahead of Jacksonville State, but Lipscomb obviously wants to get this win here and stay in contention for 2nd against Central Arkansas.
Yeah, a lot at stake for the Bisons here. That's a pitch that'll miss high to Cam McMillan. He's 0 for 3 on the day with a couple of strikeouts. That's going to be off the plate as well. 2 balls, no strikes. So close the book on Gavin Braunecker on the day. He started, went 7 innings, gives up 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. He throws 104 pitches, but that's going to be an off-speed pitch that's swung through by McMillan. The story of the day really for Braunecker was battling back. Gives up 5 runs in the first inning, including 2 home runs back-to-back. Gives up 2 more runs in the 3rd and then settles down. And he retired 12 out of the last 14 hitters that he faced. Swings through that one as well, and it's 2-2 now to Cam McMillan. So Braunecker really settled himself down after that 3rd inning, and from then on, 12 out of 14 that he retired as Lipscomb was unable to punch through. Didn't get a hit past that 3rd inning. Punching all those hits in the first 8 inning, and McMillan is down on strikes for the 3rd time today. That'll be 2 outs, and that'll bring Ethan Stamps to the plate. Stamps has singled and grounded out twice, so he's 1 for 3 on the day. Try to catch you up on all the scores this inning if we can. As Erica mentioned, Eastern Kentucky fought back and defeated Jacksonville State 11-10. So the Colonels wind up sweeping that 3-game series from Jacksonville State. Other ASUN action going on right now on the western side. Central Arkansas all over North Alabama 12-2 in the 8th inning. That's a breaking ball that'll be a strike, 0-1 against Stamps. On the other side of the conference, Liberty has beaten Jacksonville 2-1. Stetson defeated North Florida 7-5 in 10 innings, and Florida Gulf Coast got by Kennesaw State 10-9. That's a fastball that'll stay inside. It'll be a ball and a strike on Stamp. So a really funky delivery out of Parrish, lefty that has a sidearm delivery, a lot of elbows and knees coming at you if you're a hitter. So a lot of deception from the angles that he creates out there, and he's been successful this season with that, as we mentioned. Pitching very effectively out of the bullpen for Coach Larry Owens and the Bellarmine Knights. They're 2 outs and a 1-1 count. That's a curveball that stays high, and it'll be 2-1 to Stamps. Bertolani waits on deck if Stamps can extend the inning here. Bisons have really been cold, as we mentioned. Their last base hit was, and Stamps hits that one foul. It was a fastball that ran in on him. The count will be 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 to Ethan Stamps. Don't see anyone throwing actively in the Bison's bullpen. Actually, I'll take that back. There is a right-hander throwing. I think earlier Erica thought it might be Matthew Maldonado. I'd be a little surprised to see Bonnert coming back out after he threw on Saturday and struggled in the last inning. So I suspect we'll see a change there. We'll keep an eye on that. But first, it's a 2-2 pitch from Nick Parrish to Ethan Stamps. And he swung through that one, strike 3. So effective inning by Nick Parrish as he strikes out 2 and nothing doing for the Bison. So we're going to head to the 9th inning. Tight game here. Bellarmine leading Lipscomb 8-7. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons baseball on YouTube Live. New pitcher on the mound for the Bisons is sophomore right-hander Trey Nordman, 6'5", 220-pounder out of Lansing, Michigan. Nordman pitched in yesterday's game. He's the closer for the Bisons. 7 saves on the season, record of 3 wins, no losses. ERA 3.20. He's worked 19 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 31 strikeouts against 28 walks. And he'll be called upon to hold this one right here, starting with Peyton Back, the 6-hole hitter for Bellarmine, and he hits the first pitch into left field for a solid base hit. So that'll be the 14th base hit on the day for the Bellarmine Knights. And good piece of hitting there from Peyton Back. That's going to be his first hit on the day. He had grounded out 3 times and flied out. So Jack Ackerman will stand in there, and Ackerman's got 1 base hit. He scored a couple of times, walked, flied out, and grounded out on the day. See if they elect to ask him to bunt here. Nordman did pitch the 9th inning in yesterday's game. Faced 5 hitters and threw 22 pitches, so something we'll keep an eye on here. They're creeping in from third, and he's bunting, and he's popping it up, and that's going to be up, and it's dropped. So that's actually probably going to turn out to be a double play. Wow. Incredibly lucky break there for the Bison. So bad bunt, popped up in the air. Unintentionally, Will Hoyt dropped it. Hits the ground, and he alertly throws to second base. So that'll officially go as a 5-6-3 double play on the attempted bunt. And again, fortunate break for the Bisons there. Not how they drew it up, but turns out to work in their favor. And so Ackerman unable to execute the bunt.
And great awareness by Will Hoyt to not get flustered by a mistake and just make the most of it in that situation.
This is A.J. Arnold who's batting, senior outfielder from Louisville, Kentucky. It's his first at-bat of the weekend for A.J. Arnold. And he swings through a slider there. It'll be a ball and a strike. So this is the spot in the order occupied by English. He Had a pinch runner for him back in the 8th inning. That was Dylan Byerly, and now batting in that spot will be A.J. Arnold. 1 ball, 1 strike count, 2 outs, bases empty. Top of the 9th inning, and Bellarmine leading 8-7. He swings through another slider there. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes as Arnold is down in the count to Trey Nordman. Bisons will have 9, 1, and 2 due up in the bottom of the 9th as they'll try to come back and either tie this one up or walk it off. Already won the series, winning the first 2 games, but they need a win to keep pace with Eastern Kentucky, who's leading the West Division. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Slider will miss, or a fastball actually downstairs, 2-2. Sorg would be next if A.J. Arnold can extend this inning for the Bellarmine Knights. Again, they've out-hit Lipscomb 13-8. Tip your cap to them. They've really fought back all day and made plays when they had to, even though they stranded a number of runners. They've continued to fight and taken the lead in this one, and that's a strike 3 on the slider. So Trey Nordman's going to get a strikeout there, and we're going to head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Bisons as Lipscomb leads Bellarmine leads 8-7, and we'll be back to tell you about the bottom of the 9th inning after this short break. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Very odd. Yeah, we got really lucky there. Somebody find it. Wow. That is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, yeah. He probably knew a fair number of them. That's interesting. All right, here we go. To the bottom of the 9th inning we head. Lipscomb is trailing Bellarmine 8-7, and Nick Parrish is back out on the mound. He was absolutely terrific in the 8th inning. 2 strikeouts and a fly ball out. And it's going to be 9, 1, and 2. Bertolani, Ketchup, and Houghton to try to extend this game for the Bisons. Again, they won the first 2 games of the series, 17-4 on Friday night and 8-1 on Saturday. But none of those runs count today, and the runs that count show 8 in the tally for Bellarmine and 7 in the tally for Lipscomb. So Chaz Bertolani stands in there. 0 for 2 with a walk today, grounded out and flied out and walked. And he'll take a fastball high for ball 1.
And just as a reminder, this game would move Lipscomb to 3rd in the ASUN West, and only the top 3 from each side clinch a spot. Other than that, it's up to the RBI.
Fastball's going to miss outside there. So 2-0 to Bertolani, and you'd love to get the leadoff runner on. So important in one of these innings to put a little pressure on the defense. Do see some action down in the Bellarmine bullpen. There's a right-hander throwing down there. Can't get a number from our vantage point, but it looks like a right-hander that's throwing. So 2 balls, no strikes on Bertolani. See if he takes a pitch here. Looks like he's taken all the way, and that is a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Bertolani. Some of the crowd didn't like the call, but it was definitely over the outside part of the plate. Unpaid umpire Eric Gaucher says, yep, that's a strike right there. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Bases empty, bottom of the 9th, and Lipscomb trailing 8-7. And that's a fastball that will catch that inside corner. And 2 balls and 2 strikes. So he went outside for the first strike, comes inside for the second strike. Now Bertolani is even in the count, 2-2. Nick Parrish on in relief of Gavin Braunecker. All lefties today for the Bellarmine Knights. Here's the pitch, fouled the back at the screen. Callum remain 2-2. Defensive alignment pretty much straight away. They're obviously guarding the third and first base lines, trying to take away the extra base hit here. But not much of a shift on. Again, the outfielders play very deep. Higgins in left and Mulkey in right both play very, very deep. They have all weekend. Ackerman in center, a little bit more in what I'd call a standard position there. But a lot of green grass out there if Bertolani could get one in play. But it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count. And Parrish delivers, and that's a pitch outside. Chaz started taking off his gear as if he had walked, and I had that as ball 3, and apparently so did the home plate umpire, Eric Gaucher. So it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chaz was a little eager to get himself down to first base.
There.
He tried to sell it, but wasn't able to. So 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Now he has to get back in the mindset for this payoff pitch.
And he hits this high in the air to the right side. First baseman Crane is going to drift over in foul territory, and he'll catch it for the first out of the inning. So nice bounce back there. They retire Bertolani for the first out of the inning. We're back to the top of the order, and Caleb Ketchup. Ketchup base hits in the first and the second inning, and he's grounded out and flied out since then. So 2 for 4 on the day for Caleb Ketchup. He's 5 for 13 on the weekend, so he's had a terrific weekend, but Bisons need him to get something going here. One of those hits this weekend was a home run, his 5th of the season. That was on Friday night. Again, Ketchup with a number of highlight reel plays. If you haven't caught the game up to this point, go back and keep your eye on social media. I'm sure some of those will make their way onto the highlights reel that the Bisons will put together after this game. But Caleb Ketchup with just a couple of terrific defensive plays from a shortstop position. He takes a curveball outside. That's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Maddox Houghton's waiting on deck. Last chance for the Bisons here, trailing 8-7 in the bottom of the 9th. And that curveball stays way high. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Ketchup.
Caleb Ketchup is just a fun player to watch with his speed. It makes things just more exciting, more entertaining. Not that the whole team doesn't bring the excitement. It's just Caleb adds a little extra spark to that.
That fastball's going to miss high. Kicks off the glove, but of no mind with no one on base. So 3 balls, no strikes. You'd have to think Ketchup likely to maybe take a pitch here. And crowd trying to rally the Bisons. Good crowd on hand for Mother's Day here. Nice ceremony before the game. All the Bison baseball moms in attendance threw out the first pitch to their son, who's undoubtedly their favorite player on the team. 3 balls and 1 strike, as that's the automatic right through there. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Nick Parrish trying to get out of this one and preserve a win for the Knights in this 3-game series. And that's the missed high. It looked really close, but it's a walk nonetheless. And so Ketchup will trot down to first base. He'll be on base for the 3rd time today. Maddox Houghton will come to the plate, and I think Coach Larry Owens is...
He's not happy with that call.
I don't think he was happy with the call. I think he's going to go out and do a mound visit, but I wanted to make sure that he voiced his displeasure, and I got to say that I think he might have something to complain about there. That one was really close. Bison swept the Knights in the first meeting of these 2 teams earlier this season. That meeting happened way back on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They won 3 games. They won 3-2 on Friday, 13-3 Saturday, and 12-4 on Sunday. So the Bisons have 5 wins and 5 tries going up till today. Last season, Bisons took 2 out of 3, both at Bellarmine and here at Dugan Field. So they were 4-2 last season, coming against the Knights. And coming into today's game, the Bisons have been red hot. They'd won 9 out of their last 12 games. They won 2 out of 3 against Central Arkansas last weekend. They won no midweek game this week, but they've won 2 straight this weekend. So Maddox Houghton's going to be up there. Maddox, a sacrifice bunt in the 1st, a walk in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th, and flew out to center field in the 7th. You know that Ketchup can run 25 out of 26 in stolen bases on the season, but a left-handed pitcher up there with a funky delivery. And that one's going to miss downstairs for ball 1. The zone's gotten a little tighter here in the 9th inning, I'd say, Erica.
I would agree with that. That's definitely, the umpires are being a little bit more strict, but it's gone both ways. It's been a very fairly called game, even though there's probably been some adjustments that the pitchers and batters have had to make based on the calls.
Oh, they got him picked off. Did they get him? No, he got back. Wow. So they had him picked off, really kind of that first move steal where Ketchup was going to be going, but Parrish hesitated and allowed Ketchup to dive back. Quick twitches there by Ketchup. By all rights, he should have been picked off for the 2nd time today. He was picked off.
And I almost feel as if the twitch almost aided in the fact that he could have gotten picked off. He had to jump back quickly, but it seemed he hesitated on jumping back because he wasn't sure if Parrish was actually going to make the throw. That's
a fastball that's going to miss outside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes on Maddox Houghton. Mason Lundgren on deck. Again, 1 out. Bison's trailing 8-7 against Bellarmine, and it's the bottom of the ninth inning. And here's the 2-0 pitch, and that'll miss inside as well, 3-0. And you got to think that Houghton's likely to take a pitch here, just because he'd love to walk and get that tying run over to second base in the person of Ketchup. Again, Ketchup a lot easier to steal third than it is to steal second against this left-hander Nick Parrish. So first the 3-0 pitch, he bluffs, and that's going to be called a strike on the inside half. So it'll be 3 balls and 1 strike, and Houghton might very well decide to take another pitch here, unless this was really to his liking. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Ketchup your runner at first. He is going to get chased back over. I don't think he was running. He really doesn't have his usual big lead. I think he's getting probably a little more cautious after he really, by all rights, should have been picked out a moment ago. He's already been picked off once today and picked off yesterday. So.
And everyone always gets a little bit more cautious when you're down to your last half inning.
No question there. Don't want to make that out on the base path. And that's, oh boy. Wow, that was called a strike. And Maddox Houghton somewhat saw it the way that I did, which that it was inside. But nonetheless, that's going to be strike 2. That was a curveball that came inside, and it even got away from the catcher. But it was ruled to have.
We know the strike zone. We don't know the strike zone.
We don't criticize the umpires here. They have a tough job. But that one definitely seemed on the generous side. The throw's going to go to first, and it's, again, going to be a payoff pitch due to Maddox Houghton here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Caleb Ketchup is on at first. He reached via the walk after Chaz Bertolani popped out to start this inning, and Lipscomb is trying to claw their way back. They're down 8-7 after they led the whole way, but they gave up 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning. Throw will again go to first, and I have to say, for a lefty, Parrish does not have a very deceptive move. He kind of makes it obvious when he's going to throw over there. Now, that may not be his best move. We may not have seen his best move yet. He may be saving that, but to date, we haven't seen that really strong left-handed move over there. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We'll see if Ketchup is running, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him once he's convinced that the pitch is going home. He is indeed running, and that's hit in the air to right field, and that's going to be caught. Really nice running catch by Mulkey. He's going to throw to first, but Speedy Ketchup is able to get back. So tough break for the Bisons there. Houghton hit that ball well, but a nice running catch there by Jacob Mulkey in right field, and so Ketchup had to retreat back as he was running on the pitch. So the Bisons are down to their final out, and this is Mason Lundgren. Mason has been hit by a pitch. He struck out and grounded out twice, so he's due for today. He did have a home run in last night's game. He was 1 for 3 yesterday after being 2 for 4 on Friday night with 3 RBIs. So be a nice time for Mason to find his first base hit of the afternoon. Last out for the Bisons, 2 outs and a runner at first. And they are going to again throw over to first and try to cut Ketchup back towards the bag. Mason Lundgren batting .305 on the season. He does have 3 home runs and 33 RBIs.
With the left-hander almost being cut off in the 9th inning, you're totally right. Caleb Ketchup is hanging very close to first base.
Yeah, we don't see the kind of active lead that he normally gets. That's a fastball that's going to stay high, and the count will be a ball and no strikes. Malik Williams waits on deck, but Bisons have to get Lundgren on somehow to get to Williams and have a chance to continue this one. Tying run at first, winning run at the plate, but 2 outs. And that's going to miss downstairs. I don't know if that was a changeup or just something that he took something off. So 2 balls and no strikes, and again, decision point here whether you turn Lundgren loose. He's a good hitter, knows the strike zone, but Parrish has fallen behind the last couple of hitters here. And that's that extended outside corner, and he gets the call again. 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2-1 now on Mason Lundgren. Ketchup is running. The pitch is high and inside, and they're not going to get him. So chose a good pitch to run on. Tough pitch for Smith to handle, and Ketchup is able to execute a stolen base, and that's really well done. Again, he's got to read that left-hander. Not easy to do, and Caleb Ketchup has just stolen his 26th base of the season, 26 out of 27, and I can't emphasize that that doesn't happen by accident. That's a lot of skill and talent. And he now is in scoring position, but again, 2 outs. The count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Mason Lundgren. Outfield is very deep. Shift is on with the second baseman Sorg pulled over into the hole there. So there is some space up the middle. The shortstop, Melbauer, is playing almost directly up the middle, so the 6-hole and the 4-hole are both open here, but we have seen Lundgren go the other way. In fact, his home run that he hit in yesterday's ball game was an oppo shot over the 375 sign in left center field. Nick Parrish has got a 3-ball, 1-strike count, 2 outs, and Mason Lundgren gets set. And that's almost going to hit him. That's way inside for ball 4. Not the worst outcome in the world for Bellarmine because first base was open. The only bad thing is they bring to the plate a guy who, with one swing of the bat, can change the complexion of this game, and that's Malik Williams. Malik on the day had an RBI single in the first, a laser shot home run back in the third. He popped out in the fifth, and he walked in the seventh. So Malik Williams, 2 for 3 on the day, 2 RBIs, 2 run scores. He's bats .370, 52 RBIs on the season, and 10 home runs. And I think we're going to have a pinch runner at first base. That looks like what's going on. Coach Forehand bringing his lineup card over. And we are indeed, that's going to be Tiger Borum that's going to go down there and run for Mason Lundgren. So Tiger Borum will run for Lundgren at first. Borum with excellent speed. So Borum will run at first, Ketchup running at second. So we've got really good speed on the base paths, and Malik Williams stands in there again. .370, top hitter on the team. He's also number 1 in RBI. So he's the guy you want at the plate if you're the Bisons, but they have pitched him very much off speed, and I'd have to believe that Parrish is going to continue to do that here, as that's what Williams has seen a steady diet of all weekend. Here comes the first pitch, and it is a curveball that's going to float in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike.
And with the speed that we have on the base path right now, I mean, a single, a double could walk this thing off for the Bisons.
Borum could score for first on an appropriately hit ball. He's got a huge lead over there. They're not holding him on. They are shading Ketchup just a little bit to cut the lead down at second. Here comes the 0-1, and it's swung on and hit, and it's going to be to the shortstop, who's going to flip over to second, and that is going to be your ball game. Malik Williams grounds out short to second. And Bellarmine's going to get out here with 1 win. The Bisons are going to strand 2 runners here in this inning. They wind up stranding 6 for the game. And credit the Bellarmine Knights. They come back and win the rubber game or this series by a count of 8-7. So our final line score for today's game. For Bellarmine, 8 runs on 13 hits. There was 1 error. For Lipscomb, 7 runs on 8 hits, and there were no errors. I believe the winning pitcher will go to, well, actually, Broniker may be the winning pitcher, right? He was still the pitcher of record when they scored the 4 runs, so I believe that he'll actually get the win. And the loss will go to Matthew Bonnard on the season, I believe, there. So we'll double-check those before we get out of the off the air. We'll do a brief recap for you. The Bisons jumped out to a big lead in the first inning. They got a single from Caleb Ketchup, a sacrifice bunt from Maddox Houghton. Mason Lundgren hit by a pitch, and then Malik Williams, an RBI base hit, a 3-run home run from Rudy Maxwell, a solo shot from Trace Wilhoit, and the Bisons were up 5-0. The Bellarmine Knights fought back. They put 3 runs up of their own in the 3rd inning. That was courtesy of a walk, a single, a hit by pitch, and a couple of singles, an RBI single from Mulkey and 2 RBIs from Davis Crane. Bisons went right back to work in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Solo home run from Malik Williams, a double from Rudy Maxwell, a walk, and then an RBI ground out from Ethan Stamps, and Lipscomb was up at that point 7-3. However, Bellarmine added a single run in the 4th. It was a single from Ackerman, a ground out, a walk, another single, and an RBI base hit from Ashton Smith, and they had narrowed the gap to 7-4. Some fine middle relief pitching from Noah Thompson, who came in and shut the door for the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, retiring the Knights in order and only allowing 1 base runner during that time. But Gavin Broniker, the starter, settled down as well. And in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, he only allowed 2 base runners for Lipscomb, both via the walk, and Lipscomb was unable to score. And this one turned quickly in the 8th inning when Ackerman grounded out. Then there was a double off the bat of English, a single from Sorg, a base on balls to Higgins, another single from Smith, and then a couple RBIs off a base hit from Mulkey, and the Knights had pushed 4 runs across and grabbed an 8-7 lead. Bison's unable to get anything going in the 8th. The 9th was a 1-2-3 affair for Bellarmine, And the bottom of the ninth inning, the Bisons got 2 men on board, both via the walk. But Nick Parrish able to slam the door as he got a ground ball out off the bat of Malik Williams to end this one and give Bellarmine the 8-7 win. Our time of the game is right at about 3 hours. And we'll remind you, fans, that the next action for Lipscomb Bisons baseball will be on Tuesday. That'll be May the 10th, when the Bisons will play the second installment of the Battle of the Boulevard. They'll take on the Belmont Bruins over at Rose Park, and first pitch there is scheduled for 5 p.m. Our next telecast for Lipscomb baseball will be from here. That'll be on Thursday, May the 19th. The Bisons will be hosting North Alabama for their final homestand, a 3-game series. Check the Lipscomb Bisons baseball Twitter and social media accounts for the broadcast information to find out the details of when and where to find that game. The intervening games at Belmont and at Eastern Kentucky will be broadcast by those schools. We'll have that information as well on lipscombsports.com. Our special thanks to Lipscomb Athletic Director Philip Hutchison, Associate Athletic Director for External Relations Brent McMillan, the Assistant Athletic Director for Communications Kirk Downs, and the Assistant Director for Athletic Communications Hannah Jo Riley. I again want to extend my congratulations to Lipscomb graduate Erica Plunkett, who is our do-it-all person here on these broadcasts: camera, audio, produce, direct. She does it all and was an honors graduate of Lipscomb yesterday with an engineering degree. So, Erica, congratulations once again. Thanks for joining us in the booth, and thanks to all of you for joining us. This is Doc Allen saying thanks for your time this time, and until next time, so long. You've been watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live.